Construction projects often symbolize progress, but a lot of them include unbelievable construction mistakes, draining billions of dollars while creating more problems than solutions. From a leaning skyscraper to a building that literally melted cars, these projects make us wonder, how could it go so wrong? Today, we dive deep into the 10 most expensive construction mistakes that went terribly wrong. Let's travel over to the Intempo skyscraper, a stunning yet deeply flawed high-rise in Benidorm, Spain. This 47-story residential building, completed in 2021, was intended to symbolize prosperity and modernity. The building is the tallest in Benidorm and the 5th tallest in Spain. However, it has become infamous for a significant construction oversight that highlights the importance of planning in architecture. The Intempo skyscraper was conceived during the real estate boom in Spain in the early 2000s. Rising to a height of 202 meters, it features 2 parallel towers, separated by a gap of 20 meters, and connected by a diamond-shaped structure at the top. Its sleek design aims to redefine the skyline in Benidorm and attract high-end clientele with luxurious apartments and stunning views of the Mediterranean Sea. The design of the building was officially presented in 2006. Construction started in 2007, but the global financial crisis of 2008 severely impacted the project. Developers pushed ahead despite mounting financial difficulties, and cracks in the metaphorical foundation began to appear. A critical flaw in the project was discovered in 2013 during construction: the absence of a service elevator for the upper floors. The original plans included an elevator system, but when the height of the building was increased from 20 to 47 stories, the design team failed to account for an elevator shaft reaching the upper levels. So there was no way to go upstairs but walk. This oversight left the upper floors without adequate vertical transportation, a glaring issue for residents of a luxury building. Poor planning led to unsafe working conditions for the builders and construction outpacing the design. There has been a construction elevator collapse which injured several of the 13 workers aboard. Efforts to assist these people were delayed by design flaws, which did not permit emergency vehicles onto the building site. While this oversight was eventually corrected, it became a symbol of the broader issues. Budget overruns, delays, and legal disputes further affected Intempo. It wasn't completed until 2021, 14 years after its groundbreaking. Even after completion, this $1.5 billion skyscraper struggled to attract buyers. Its reputation as a failed project stuck, tarnishing what could have been an iconic addition to the skyline in Spain. Intempo serves as a cautionary tale about prioritizing style over functionality. Proper planning and consideration of practical needs, like elevators for a high-rise, are essential to avoid costly mistakes and ensure long-term viability. Next up, we have to talk about the Tower of Pisa, an iconic symbol of Italy, which stands proudly as one of the most infamous construction blunders in history. Originally designed as a freestanding bell tower for the Pisa Cathedral, the signature tilt of the tower makes it one of the most recognizable monuments in the world. Surprisingly, a critical construction error has turned the Leaning Tower of Pisa into a UNESCO World Heritage Site that draws over 6 million visitors each year. Construction began in 1173 during a period of prosperity in Pisa. Builders intended for the tower to stand tall, firm, and straight, but the trouble started as early as the 2nd floor. The foundation, only 3 meters deep, got unstable due to unstable subsoil composed of clay, sand, and shells. By the time the 3rd floor was completed in 1178, the tower had begun to tilt. Builders attempted to correct the tilt by adding extra height to one side, but this solution only added to the problem, giving the tower its now iconic curved shape. The construction of the tower was interrupted multiple times, notably due to conflicts between Pisa and its neighboring states, such as Genoa. These pauses, which stretched over decades, allowed the unstable subsoil to compress and harden, effectively preventing the structure from collapsing during its early stages. Despite these unplanned interventions, it took nearly 200 years to complete the tower, which finally stood at 56 meters tall with a striking tilt. By the 20th century, the tilt had worsened to a precarious 5.5 degrees, and the Italian government grew concerned about the stability of the tower. Following the sudden collapse of another historic tower in Pavia in 1989, authorities closed the leaning tower to the public and launched an ambitious stabilization effort. Engineers removed the heavy bells from the top to reduce the weight and installed steel cables and lead counterweights to stabilize the structure. Between 1990 and 2001, over $25 million was spent on restoration, during which soil was carefully excavated to reduce the tilt back to a safer angle of under 4 degrees. Now, a conservation group called Opera della Primatiale Pisana regularly monitors the tower and makes sure that the conservation work continues to help it. Today, the Leaning Tower of Pisa stands proudly, not in defiance of its construction flaws, but because of them. Its tilt has made it a global icon. Let's move over to the Aquadom, a visually stunning but tragically flawed mega project in Berlin, Germany. This cylindrical aquarium, located in the Radisson Blu Hotel, was an engineering marvel that once stood as the largest freestanding cylindrical aquarium in the world. However, a catastrophic failure turned this masterpiece into a symbol of engineering oversight. Aquadom was an ambitious project unveiled in 2003. Standing 25 meters tall and 11 meters in diameter, it contained over 1,500 tropical fish from 100 species, housed in 1 million liters of saltwater. The highlight was an elevator that traveled through the center of the aquarium, offering visitors a unique underwater experience. The structure was built to serve as a centerpiece for the hotel, combining entertainment and luxury in one location. It quickly became a major tourist attraction, drawing visitors from around the world. The Aquadom was opened in 2004, quickly becoming a major tourist attraction in Berlin. Constructed with advanced acrylic panels, it showcased cutting-edge aquarium technology. However, maintaining such a massive aquatic habitat was no small challenge. Regular cleaning, water filtration, and temperature control systems were crucial for the safety of the fish, hotel guests, and onlookers. The operational costs of this attraction ran into millions annually, reflecting the complexity of its maintenance. On the morning of December 16, 2022, tragedy struck. The project suffered a catastrophic failure when the acrylic glass cylinder shattered, spilling over 1 million liters of water into the hotel lobby and surrounding areas. The collapse destroyed the aquarium and tragically resulted in the death of nearly all the aquatic life. The force of the collapse was so intense that local seismographs recorded shockwaves from the incident. The root cause was attributed to material fatigue in the acrylic structure. Despite routine maintenance, the design of the tank and construction did not properly account for long-term stress and environmental factors, such as temperature fluctuations. Investigations revealed the large temperature difference between the warm water inside the tank and the freezing air outside on the night before the incident. This weakened the acrylic panels drastically, leading to their eventual failure. Rebuilding the Aquadom is expected to cost millions, but whether it will be restored remains uncertain. The project was already built at high construction costs of $18 million. Investigations into the incident have further raised questions about the engineering practices used during its construction and maintenance. The Aquadom highlights the need for rigorous material testing and ongoing structural assessments in projects that push engineering boundaries. But what about the Lotus Riverside complex in Shanghai, China? This residential development became infamous in 2009 when one of its nearly completed buildings toppled over intact, a rare and shocking engineering failure. The Lotus Riverside complex was a high-end residential project consisting of 11 apartment buildings. It was marketed as a luxury living space in one of the rapidly developing urban districts in Shanghai. Each building stood 13 stories tall, offering modern amenities and a sleek design to attract affluent buyers. Completed in 2009, the Lotus Riverside complex was part of the booming real estate market in Shanghai, designed to cater to the growing population of the city. However, on the morning of June 27, 2009, disaster struck. One of the 13-story apartment buildings within the complex toppled over, landing on its side almost completely intact, narrowly avoiding its neighboring structures. Tragically, a worker who had entered the building to collect tools was killed during the collapse. The investigation revealed that the root cause was poor construction practices. During excavation for an underground garage adjacent to the building, contractors improperly piled excavated soil on one side of the building, creating uneven pressure on the foundation. The foundation was further weakened by heavy rains, causing the building to tip over. The incident exposed significant lapses in engineering oversight, soil testing, and adherence to safety standards. The collapse exposed critical flaws in the broader practices of the construction industry in China. Following the collapse, 9 key individuals from Shanghai Zhongxin Construction were detained for further investigation. Meanwhile, buyers of properties within the complex demanded refunds and compensation, leading to significant financial losses for the developers. The incident also sparked widespread criticism of the construction industry in China and its tendency to prioritize speed and cost cutting over quality and safety. Lots of things should have been done differently to avoid this construction mistake. Engineering workers should have done the excavation farther away from the apartment building. Even if the riverbank did collapse, they could have done something to prevent the water from seeping into the foundation. The workers also could have built a stronger foundation and used better material. Proper soil testing, drainage planning, and responsible engineering practices could have prevented this avoidable disaster. The remaining buildings in the Lotus Riverside complex were declared structurally sound and remain occupied today. Despite spending $1.25 billion, the toppled building was demolished, and the site serves as a reminder of the dangers of cutting corners in construction. It's time for a much more expensive construction mistake next, which occurred in Seoul, South Korea. The Sampoong department store collapse in 1995 is one of the deadliest structural failures in modern history. This tragedy highlights the devastating consequences of poor planning, cost-cutting, and disregard for safety standards. Initially planned as a 9-story apartment complex, this $75 million project was abruptly repurposed into a department store by Lee Jun, chairman of the Sampoong Group. This last-minute change required significant modifications to the design of the building. Vital support columns were removed to accommodate escalators and an additional floor. When the contracted construction company raised concerns, Lee Jun dismissed them and hired his own crew, ensuring the project was completed within 2 years. By the time the department store opened in 1990, it had become a commercial success, attracting approximately 40,000 visitors daily. Trouble began to surface by 1995 when large cracks appeared on the 5th floor, designed as a food court. Instead of addressing the issue, Lee Jun ordered merchandise relocated to the basement, ignoring the increasingly evident danger. On June 29, 1995, the situation escalated as cracks widened, prompting engineers to warn that the entire structure was at risk of collapse. An emergency meeting was held, but Lee Jun refused to evacuate the building, fearing revenue losses. Shortly afterward, he left the premises himself, leaving thousands of employees and customers in danger. At 5:52 p.m., disaster struck. The roof gave way, triggering the collapse of the entire south wing of the building. In a few seconds, 502 lives were lost, and over 1,500 people were trapped in the rubble. This tragedy became the largest peacetime disaster in South Korean history. Investigations revealed systemic failures, from the flawed design of the building to corrupt practices during construction. The contractors replaced steel reinforcements with cheaper, thinner concrete slabs to cut costs. Columns were shaved down to make room for escalators, further weakening the structure. Despite visible cracks in the days leading up to the collapse, the store remained open to avoid revenue losses. Lee Jun and his son were found guilty of gross negligence and bribery, receiving prison sentences exceeding 10 years. High-ranking officials who had accepted bribes to approve the project also faced similar punishments. The collapse led to sweeping reforms in construction safety laws in South Korea. Today, the site has been controversially redeveloped into a luxury apartment complex, with a memorial erected elsewhere to honor the victims. Next up, we have to talk about the Walkie-Talkie, officially known as 20 Fenchurch Street in London. This unique skyscraper gained fame for its distinctive design and disgrace for its unintended consequences. While it wasn't a structural collapse, its death ray phenomenon became one of the most bizarre construction oversights in recent history. The Walkie-Talkie, completed in 2014, is a 38-story office building designed by architect Raffaele Vignoli. Its distinctive top-heavy design, resembling a walkie-talkie, aimed to maximize rentable space and create a striking addition to the skyline in London. However, compromises in the design were made early on, including a reduction in height from the originally planned 200 meters. This was intended to ensure historic landmarks in London, like St. Paul's Cathedral and the Tower of London, remain unobstructed. The south-facing concave facade of the building, made entirely of reflective glass, was intended to improve energy efficiency through natural ventilation and solar gain. Yet, this very feature set the stage for a disastrous design oversight. Shortly after the completion of the building, pedestrians and businesses nearby began noticing intense heat emanating from the structure. The curved glass acted as a concave mirror, concentrating sunlight onto the street below. This phenomenon created a death ray that melted parts of cars, scorched bike seats, and even fried an egg on the pavement. The temperatures in the hotspot reached over 90 degrees Celsius, causing damage to property and raising safety concerns. The intense heat melted parts of a Jaguar car, damaged shop fronts, and even scorched the doormat of a nearby barber shop. Viral videos of eggs frying on the pavement further highlighted the absurdity of the situation. This wasn't the only issue. The aerodynamic shape of the building created strong downdrafts, sending gusts of wind that knocked over pedestrians and blew signs off buildings. These problems turned the walkie-talkie into a hazard for both people and property. The backlash was swift and severe. The building earned the ignominious Carbuncle Cup for being the ugliest building in the UK. Developers were forced to install a brise soleil, a louvered sunshade, on the southern facade at an estimated cost of $10 million to mitigate the glare. Despite these fixes, the walkie-talkie remains a cautionary tale in architecture. But we have to talk about one of the most expensive construction mistakes committed in the United States. The Big Dig in Boston, officially known as the Central Tunnel Project, is infamous for its staggering cost overruns, delays, and structural issues. The concept of the Big Dig emerged in the 1970s, spearheaded by Massachusetts Transport Secretary Fred Salvucci. By the 1980s, the Central Artery, built in the 1950s, had become a bottleneck for growing traffic in Boston. Daily congestion often lasted up to 10 hours, and forecasts warned it could worsen to 16 hours by 2010. To combat this, the project proposed constructing a 5.6 kilometers tunnel beneath downtown Boston, connecting Logan International Airport via the Ted Williams Tunnel, incorporating the Bunker Hill Memorial Bridge. Initially budgeted at $2.8 billion in 1982, the project finally broke ground in 1991 after overcoming years of bureaucratic hurdles and a narrow congressional approval. The true costs, however, were grossly underestimated. Adjusted for inflation, construction costs skyrocketed to over $15 billion, with total expenses, including interest, reaching an eye-watering $22 billion by completion. It wasn't fully operational until 2007, nearly a decade behind schedule. This made it one of the most expensive infrastructure projects in US history. Despite its grand vision, the Big Dig was riddled with issues from the start. Poor planning and mismanagement led to significant design flaws and safety problems. The construction involved tunneling beneath the bustling downtown in Boston without disrupting traffic on the elevated central artery above. Engineers likened it to performing open-heart surgery on a marathon runner. Over 161 lane miles of highways, 80 miles of tunnels, and 4 major highway interchanges were built during the project. One of the most complex tasks was tunneling under South Station, a major railway hub where unstable soil conditions required freezing the ground with refrigeration units to stabilize it during excavation. The project also faced a dramatic setback in September 2001 when a waterproof seal in a tunnel burst, flooding the site with 70,000 gallons of water per minute. Engineers averted disaster by deliberately flooding the entire tunnel to equalize pressure and save its structural integrity. In 2006, a section of the ceiling in the tunnel collapsed, killing a motorist. Investigations revealed substandard materials and shoddy workmanship, sparking a massive review of tunnel safety. Hundreds of leaks were discovered in the tunnel walls, causing flooding and raising concerns about long-term durability. The Big Dig highlights the importance of transparent project management, realistic budgeting, and rigorous quality control. But just wait until you hear about the Sydney Opera House in Australia, an architectural masterpiece that faced numerous construction challenges and cost overruns. With its sail-like roofs and design inspired by natural forms such as palm trees and seashells, it has become a symbol of Australia. While it's now a symbol of innovation and beauty, its construction story is one of the most infamous in history. The Sydney Opera House was designed by Danish architect Jørn Utzon, who won an international design competition in 1957. Its bold, sail-like structure was meant to evoke the maritime culture of Sydney and push the boundaries of architectural design. Utzon envisioned a construction process in 3 phases: the base, the curved shell roof, and the interiors. Construction began in 1959 with a modest budget of $7 million and a 4-year timeline. Yet, the project was already running ahead of its design as the government rushed to start before the elections. This rushed approach triggered a cascade of challenges. Design adjustments expanded the number of theaters from 2 to 4, and a flawed site stability report meant the foundation had to be rebuilt, causing delays. 4 years in, only the concrete base was complete. The real hurdles came in phase 2. The vision of Utzon for ceramic tile-covered shells proved difficult and costly. Casting the unique shapes required revolutionary engineering solutions, and costs spiraled to $22 million by 1966, 3 times the initial budget. Tensions escalated as the newly elected government, led by Public Works Minister Davis Hughes, withheld funds, demanding detailed proof of work. Facing financial strain, Utzon threatened resignation, which Hughes swiftly accepted. Utzon left Australia and never returned. In the absence of Utzon, a panel of Australian architects completed the project. The shells were finalized 3 years later, their intricate design featuring over 1 million custom ceramic tiles. The final phase, interior design, required entirely new plans and an additional $17 million, pushing the total cost to $102 million, over 14 times the original estimate. Despite this rough journey, the Sydney Opera House opened in 1973 to global acclaim. Its cultural and economic impact was immediate, recouping construction costs within 2 years. Though Utzon never returned to see his completed masterpiece, he was awarded the Pritzker Prize in 2003, cementing his legacy as a visionary architect. The Sagrada Familia in Spain is an awe-inspiring basilica in Barcelona that exemplifies architectural genius and artistic ambition. Designed by Antoni Gaudí, it's a masterpiece of Gothic and Art Nouveau styles. However, the project is notorious for its never-ending construction and numerous design challenges, making it one of the most delayed building projects in history. Construction of the Sagrada Familia began in 1882, initially led by architect Francisco de Paula del Villar. Gaudí took over the project in 1883, transforming the basilica into his magnum opus. He envisioned a towering structure with 18 spires, representing biblical figures, and intricate facades depicting key Christian stories. Gaudi used innovative techniques and organic forms to make the Sagrada Familia unlike any other religious structure. He even devised special models to calculate the complex geometry of its vaulted ceilings and towers. The primary mistake with the Sagrada Familia is its protracted timeline. Gaudi's ambitious vision, coupled with the reliance on private donations, slowed progress significantly. He famously remarked, "My client is not in a hurry," referring to God. In 1926, Gaudi was tragically struck by a tram, leaving the basilica incomplete. Much of his original plans and models were destroyed during the Spanish Civil War in the 1930s, further complicating construction. There were some technological challenges too. Gaudi's complex designs were ahead of their time, requiring modern technology to achieve. Engineers had to develop new construction techniques to bring his vision to life. The construction of this mega project incorporates innovative techniques for its time. The design includes hyperboloid structures, parabolic arches, and intricate stone carvings, all requiring exceptional craftsmanship. Modern technology has significantly expedited work in recent years, with 3D modeling and computer-aided design playing key roles in recreating Gaudi's intricate details. Today, robotic tools are employed to carve stone with precision, while prefabrication methods speed up the assembly of certain elements. The Sagrada Familia remains a work in progress, with construction expected to be completed by 2026, marking the 100th anniversary of Gaudi's death. The cost of completing this basilica has grown exponentially. Initially modest, the project now requires over $1 billion, funded through ticket sales and donations. Despite its unfinished state, it is one of the most visited landmarks in Spain, attracting millions of tourists annually. Let's talk about the 2 International Finance Ctr, a striking skyscraper in Hong Kong. This 415-meter tall tower is a symbol of economic muscle in Hong Kong, but its construction faced unique challenges that sparked controversy and lessons in design and execution. With a staggering cost of $2.8 billion, the tower faced intense scrutiny for its hefty price tag and questionable return on investment. Completed in 2003, the 2 IFC was designed by renowned architect Cesar Pelli. Standing at 415 meters with 88 floors, the building became the tallest in Hong Kong at the time and remains one of the most recognizable landmarks in the city. The skyscraper was envisioned as a modern hub for global business, which includes office towers and a shopping mall. The sleek design symbolizes financial strength and stability, with floor-to-ceiling windows and advanced structural systems to support its height. The skyscraper boasts cutting-edge features, including high-speed elevators, an advanced double-deck elevator system to optimize space, and an energy-efficient facade made of glass and steel. The design of the tower adheres to feng shui principles, a critical consideration in Hong Kong architecture. It also houses the Hong Kong Monetary Authority headquarters and connects seamlessly to the IFC Mall and the Airport Express Railway. While the tower is an engineering marvel, its construction was marked by a significant planning oversight involving fire safety. The original plans included narrow fire escape stairwells, which raised concerns about the safety of occupants during an emergency. Given the height of the building and high occupancy levels, these stairwells were considered inadequate to allow for swift evacuations. Addressing these fire safety issues required costly retrofitting during construction. Larger stairwells were added and advanced fire suppression systems were integrated, delaying the project and increasing costs. The $2.8 billion price tag made it one of the most expensive skyscrapers of its time, sparking debates about its financial viability. While it succeeded in attracting high-profile tenants, critics argued that the returns did not justify the massive investment. The controversy grew as the commercial real estate market in Hong Kong fluctuated, raising questions about the long-term sustainability of this mega project. The 2 IFC stands tall as a functional and aesthetic masterpiece. Its observation deck offers breathtaking views of Victoria Harbour, and the complex continues to attract businesses and tourists alike. We have to talk about Mirabel Airport, initially known as Montreal International Airport, which was once touted as the pinnacle of modern aviation. It is a vast airfield left non-operational for civilians, despite being much more capable and prominent than other airports in Canada. Mirabel Airport was constructed on October 4th, 1975, and, being a cargo and international passenger airport at first, it was the largest airport in the world at the time of its completion, with its area reaching 39,660 hectares. The airport has pioneering significance, as it is one of only 3 non-capital airports with fewer than 200,000 passengers as part of the national airport system. Besides that, Mirabel Airport is one of the only 2 airports in Canada with sufficient right-of-way that can be expanded to accommodate 50 million passengers per year, aside from Toronto Pearson International Airport. Although Mirabel Airport was opened with a strong future and started off well, the airport never had enough traffic to support its lucrative operations. This means that while the airport was a major project built to serve almost 50 million passengers, flights never got rerouted or landed at Mirabel Airport as much as needed to sustain its affairs. The major reason was the lack of transport services to the airport. Passengers did not have any option to travel the hundreds of kilometers needed to catch a flight from the Mirabel hangars. For this purpose, a high-speed rail was planned to be launched for people who wished to board flights from the airport, but that plan never saw the light of day. As a result, the passenger terminals remained vacant, and the hangars stayed empty even during the busiest seasons of the year. Eventually, the government ran out of money to spend on the gigantic passenger terminals, which resulted in a full closure of the passenger terminal in 2004, after the last commercial passenger flight took place on October 31st, 2004. The passenger terminal apron, where airplanes and flights were supposed to park and board, is now a racecourse, while the main passenger terminal building was demolished in 2016. After that, Mirabel Airport operated only through cargo business and rerouted cargo flights from its hangars. However, the main purpose of the airport, which was to replace the Dorval Airport with the Canadian Eastern Air Gateway, did not go as planned, resulting in the closure of Mirabel Airport. Next project on the list is a failed amusement park project based in Turkey, which was considered one of the largest entertainment hubs on the planet when it was constructed. Wonderland Eurasia, also known as Anchor Park, was a Turkish amusement park plan initiated by the 27th Mayor of Ankara in 2013. It was announced that the park would originate on the Ataturk Forest Farm and Zoos property, which was once the property of the late King of Turkey, Mustafa Kemal Ataturk. However, the construction of the park was halted several times because of court rulings that the sanctity and property rights of their former ruler would be desecrated by altering the lands and the forest. Facing many halts in 2014 and 2015, the park finally crept closer to its completion in 2017, when the GBM Group acquired the park lease for 29 years. Additionally, the government also decided to build an underpass and allocate a budget of $800 million. Finally, the park was completed in 2019, and it was announced that it would open on March 20th, 2019. However, it was only a short time before it had to be closed down due to the ongoing pandemic, resulting in extremely low attendance at the lucrative park that siphoned over 2 billion Turkish liras from the government budget. Following the 2 long years of the pandemic, there was no revenue generated by the amusement park, which caused the land of the amusement park to finally be acquired by the Ankara Metropolitan Municipality in 2022. After the acquisition, the Ankara Metropolitan Municipality conducted surveys across the city from the residents to decide the fate of the abandoned park premises, which were converted into a greenbelt area after a majority's suggestion. This makes Wonderland Eurasia one of the most lucrative capital investments by the government, which has gone down the drain. Prepare to be stunned. Next project. The famous Dome of London, a structure hailed for its striking design and futuristic shape. But beneath its dazzling exterior lies a tale of mismanagement, abandonment, and a complete shift in purpose. The Millennium Dome is an interactive tourist spot, commonly known as the O2 Arena today. But very few people know how the famous white tent-like arena was staged to host the Millennium Experience, organized by the British government in the 1990s. The dome is located on the tip of the Greenwich Peninsula in southeast London, where no eye can mistake the enormous white tent spread over 170 acres of land. Its location is what makes it special, with the prime meridian passing the western edge of the dome and the London Underground North Greenwich Station making up for the public transportation needs of the people. The Millennium Dome is the 9th largest building in the world as of 2022. With a marquee-like design covering the inside of the building, the structure has over 12 100-meter-high supporting towers that hold it up. The towers are unique in their design, as each one represents a month of the year or 1 hour of the clock face, typically reflecting the Greenwich Mean Time roll. Looking from the top, one can only spot a giant circular structure with soft edges and the towers erected. The dome has a diameter of exactly 365 meters, which is remarkable considering the accurate representation of the number of days in a year. The vast area and girth of the White Dome make it fairly visible on maps and satellite views of England, which is something every Southeast Londoner must have bragged about at least once in their life. The original intention of building the vast structure was to kick off the third millennium in style by the British government. But the expected volume of the crowd couldn't be reached in the slightest, as very few people turned up for the countless programs. The exhibition only managed to squeeze out less than 6 million people, far from the target of 12 million. There were several miscalculations by Jennifer Page, the CEO of the new Millennium Experience Company. These miscalculations also included lucrative amounts of money being handed out to organizers without any proper cash outflow management. In light of the tremendous differences in expenses, Page was sacked only 1 month after the dome's opening, after which the dome was taken under the Labour Party's wing by its leader and then UK Prime Minister Tony Blair. The major problem that destabilized the dome's financial management was the absence of most of the expected visitors. Fewer than 10 million visitors paid a visit to the dome, massively destabilizing the project's finances and making it one of the most expensive gambles the UK government made, which was not worth it. Prepare to be stunned by one of the most jaw-dropping commercial failures in history, the New South China Mall. Presented as the ultimate entertainment and shopping destination, this colossal investment bled billions and left China's commercial sector with a ghost town instead of a thriving hub. The New South China Mall is the 5th largest shopping mall in the world by total area. It is located in the province of Dongguan, China. The mall is spread over a staggering area of 9.6 million square feet, which had a leasable area of 7.1 million square feet that could fit more than 2,350 stores on the premises. What makes it much more lucrative is that the mall has 7 zones modeled and themed according to international cities, nations, and regions. Moreover, the New South China Mall also had luxurious replicas, among which there was a 25-meter replica of the Arc de Triomphe, a replica of St. Mark's Bell Tower located in Venice. And those wishing to immerse themselves in the floaty streets of Venice could even experience that in a 2.1-kilometer canal with gondolas. The New South China Mall was a construction project of Dongguan Sanyuan Yinghui Investment and Development, a company originally founded by Hu Guirong. However, a significant part was transferred to the founders' group, which granted them an authoritative position on the project. The mall was completed and opened in 2005. However, the luxurious shopping mall faced an astounding shortage of merchants and businesses, as it remained without any merchants or commercial investors opening their stores in the mall for more than a decade. Although large areas of the mall were full of shops, restaurants, and entertainment venues, after various modifications to the mall, according to a report by CNN in 2015, most parts of the mall still remained vacant, which presented a really void image of the shopping mall. After almost 15 years, the mall finally started to glow and prosper when reports started claiming that 91% of the area was glimmering with businesses and shops that were open to the people, increasing the popularity and traffic through the region. In addition to the merchants and stores, the mall also offered some pretty captivating entertainment facilities, such as an IMAX cinema, a theme park, and a marine mammal park, which showcased some of the largest and rarest marine life in the oceans. The long years of customer and merchant drought finally ended in 2020 when China Times claimed that the 91% mall occupancy would soon increase to 98% in the coming year. But the latest footage still shows large parts of the mall left unoccupied and vacant, making it one of the most costly mega projects globally with too little to produce. But what about a useless highway with the highest cost per mile of any road in the United States? For that, we have to travel to Hawaii. When we think of Hawaii, we envision refreshing, lush green landscapes, traditional beaches rich with culture, and the perfect vacation spot. However, the citizens of Honolulu and Oahu Island had to deal with more pressing transportation issues than meets the eyes of foreign tourists. Honolulu residents struggled with transportation problems when connecting with other parts of the country. The island did not have a proper highway system until the government of Hawaii decided to address the traffic congestion arising from Honolulu's growing population, which now houses over 80% of the state's residents. Bearing that in mind, the US government approved funding for the H3 Interstate, constructed to facilitate citizens commuting from Honolulu to other parts of the island. The design and structure were planned by the Bureau of Public Roads back in the 1960s. The H3 Interstate was supposed to have remarkable features, but the project faced numerous flaws right from the start. As a result, the citizens of Honolulu could only find a passage to nearby areas. This was different from what the island of Oahu needed to resolve its connectivity issues with the rest of the US. Another problem that arose was the desecration of sacred places. The H3 Interstate was stopped several times during construction due to Hawaiian communities protesting and filing complaints against the project. The complaints emphasized that the interstate would pass through the sacred Koolau Mountains, causing many relics and sacred spots of the native communities to be tampered with or demolished just to route the highway through the mountain junction. This placed many question marks on the fate of the interstate midway through construction. Another major issue that surfaced was that the highway construction would damage and endanger the wildlife species residing in the forests of Hawaii, posing a severe environmental impact that the authorities did not foresee. As a result, the H3 Interstate encountered numerous problems during construction, leading to several legal challenges. However, the state eventually secured hefty funding from the government, a staggering amount of $1.3 billion, making it the most expensive interstate highway ever built, even though it did not connect Hawaii to another state. Well, that dampens the real purpose of an interstate highway, doesn't it? Spending $80 million per mile just for a highway connecting key locations within the state proved far from worth the challenges the authorities had to endure to complete the interstate. Next on our list is a whole set of islands created in an attempt by Dubai to depict the world in a cluster of privately owned islands known as the World Islands. The islands are just a couple of kilometers away from one of the world's most luxurious estate spots and a similar location, but they failed to garner as much attention, resulting in a waste of a ton of money. Dubai is home to the world's most famous artificial archipelago, Palm Jumeirah. But there is also another set of much greater and much more hefty-priced islands that have yet to create the hype worth their investments, the World Islands. The World Islands are just a few kilometers away from the Jumeirah archipelago. The plan was initiated in 2003, aiming to include over 300 islands. For the island formation, boatloads of sand were dredged from the shallow coastal areas of Dubai and poured onto the planned locations, forming mounds of sand shaped like islands. The archipelago's name, the World, carried a strong meaning behind it, as the clustered islands were supposed to resemble the world map. The World Islands were primarily meant to be sold to private contractors and dealers. Sure enough, within 5 years of their construction, almost 60% of the islands were sold to private contractors. However, the remaining parts of the islands have not been developed into a proper shape until now. The construction of the islands faced a temporary halt when the country faced a financial crisis in 2009. The archipelago is scattered across a total area of 6 by 9 kilometers, which has a shoreline of around 232 kilometers, shielding the islands from sea waves. Until now, only a few of the islands have been fully developed, including Lebanon Island, designed to host commercial ceremonies and private parties. Aside from Lebanon Island, the North American continent has also been partially developed and is planned to be constructed into a set of resorts. Island Island has also been developed into an Irish pub. Quite ironic, right? Despite 60% of the territory being sold to private investors, a major part of the archipelago has still not been handed over to a bidder, and the construction and further development have also ceased. What makes the timing more troublesome for the government is the speculation that the stopped work is causing the islands to erode back into the sea due to weak foundations. This poses a major threat to the developers of the islands, who must make their project worthwhile by taking it all the way to the finish line, or the unsold islands, which have already started to disappear back into the sea, might give them the biggest blow from such a unique mega project. But how about a city developed within a forest that failed to succeed due to embarrassing circumstances? Let's take a look at Forest City. Forest City is a city development initiative in Malaysia aimed at overcoming the country's climate change crisis. It is located in Iskandar Puteri, Johor, the country's second largest district by population. The project aimed to provide sustainable accommodation for most people, where climate pollution would be controlled with massive forest patches and green belts. Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razak primarily officiated Forest City in 2016, while the Sultan of Johor also approved the decision. Although the Malaysian government started the project, it was primarily targeted at providing accommodation for high-class Chinese citizens, which also garnered a lot of controversy among the people. China heavily invested in this project, dumping billions of dollars into it. In fact, the Chinese were so dominant in the developed city that even the street signs were in Mandarin, and the schools opening in Forest City taught Mandarin to children. That totally sounds like some form of colonialism, right? Well, that's what most analysts thought when they burst out about the sudden increase in China's hold over Malaysian territory. Regardless of the complaints, the project kept attracting Chinese buyers who wanted to purchase real estate overseas. And what property is better than a coastal seafront property with all the luxurious amenities available? The influx of Chinese buyers remained strong until Chinese President Xi Jinping implemented currency control techniques, forcing the Chinese to hold back from buying real estate property abroad. With the Chinese buyers cut off and the Malaysian people disgruntled with the initial display of greed by the authorities, Forest City was soon left without anyone willing to buy property. During the pandemic, the project's sales dropped to an extremely low point, being branded a ghost town afterward. Aside from these reasons, the project was also criticized for destroying the natural habitat of wildlife due to deforestation to to build property inside the reclaimed land. Next, we have a fully capable nuclear power plant developed by the Philippines that was supposed to step into nuclear energy production. However, the Philippines couldn't achieve its dreams of becoming a nuclear-powered country as the plant was left unfunctional. The 1970s were the most common period for nations to enter nuclear energy production. Among those nations, the Philippines also announced its first nuclear power plant in 1973, which was originally meant to cater to the country's power generation needs. Construction of the power plant started on the Bataan Peninsula, an isolated spot along the coast 100 kilometers west of Manila, Philippines. The plant's area was a 3.57 square kilometer government reservation at Napot Point in Barangay Nagbalayong, Morong, Bataan. The project kicked off 15 years prior to construction, with the creation of the Philippine Nuclear Program under the Philippine Atomic Energy Commission. In 1973, the martial law administrator and President Ferdinand Marcos announced the start of construction, after which a presidential committee was formed to monitor the progress of the plant. Little did the Philippines know that their initiative would be completed but rendered useless a few years later because of a global crisis. The construction proposals were also a tough step. The two proposals presented at the presidential committee's meeting sparked a controversial debate on whom to pick as the construction contractors between General Electric and Westinghouse Electric. On one hand, General Electric presented a detailed and elaborate project proposal demanding a $700 million budget, whereas Westinghouse Electric demanded a $500 million budget. However, their proposal remained void of any details or specifications regarding their methodology. So, the committee faced a quality versus price dilemma. After much consideration, the committee proposed General Electric for the job, but Marcos himself overruled their recommendation and the project was handed over to Westinghouse Electric. The construction proceeded at a slow pace, with many faults and incidents midway through the construction, resulting in a spike in investments of up to $1.2 billion, primarily due to the lack of planning and control by Westinghouse Electric. The road to completion was an extreme burden for the Philippine economy, where the power plant construction accounted for around 10% of the government's debt. The plant's construction faced a halt when the United States suffered from the 3 Mile Island accident in 1979. Following the incident, the Bataan nuclear power plant was also stopped midway to check for safety measures and ensure that everything was up to the safety mark, which disclosed over 4,000 defects within the power plant. This was a huge question mark over the $1.2 billion spent by Westinghouse Electric. After 11 years of slow construction, the plant nearly reached completion with a production capability of 621 megawatts of electricity. But the 1986 Chernobyl accident in Ukraine shook the world about how deadly a faulty nuclear plant's aftermath can be. After that, a swift decision overtook all nations working on nuclear power plants to halt their constructions. The Philippines suffered a massive $2.3 billion debt because of the Bataan nuclear power plant, which was repaid in pieces until 2007, almost 30 years after the plant's construction initiative. This makes the Bataan nuclear power plant one of the biggest energy projects in the world that went down the drain without returning anything of use. But have you ever heard of one of the largest abandoned cities ever? The Eko Atlantic City is a prime example on this list. Eko Atlantic City, being a planned commerce hub in Lagos State, Nigeria, was constructed on reclaimed land from the Atlantic Ocean. The primary target of the new city was to accommodate almost 250,000 residents and a daily 150,000 passengers commuting in and out of the city when completed. The plans for building Atlantic City began in the 1960s when the government thought of obstructing the erosion of Lagos City's coastline by adding nourishment to the sea's path. But despite many efforts and attempts, the beach of Lagos City continued to shrink, increasing the threat of sea erosion and rising water levels in the future. Additionally, the ever-increasing population of Lagos City, due to its pivotal location on the country's map, was also a big headache for the government. According to the project outcomes, the completion of the city on the border coastline would strengthen the land's hold against seawater, limiting land erosion and omitting the perils of tsunamis and sea level rise in the future. Moreover, the city would also make up for the additional population in Lagos City, resulting in fair compensation for the overly populated coastal city and a new hub for commercial and coastal businesses as well as financial and tourist accommodations, further widening the horizon of commerce and tourism in Nigeria. The plan immediately attracted dozens of contractors and investors from all over the world due to its capabilities and remarkable milestones. Under the monitoring of the finest minds and resources, the project kickstarted with full speed and support from the government, with successful testing of the city models against seawater carried out at the DHI Institute in Copenhagen, Denmark, where the models were subjected to various tests for 1 in 100-year ocean surges and 1 in 1,000-year storms. However, the real problem arose shortly after authorities began reporting unsatisfactory speculations about the under-construction city on the West African coast. According to various reports, the city's construction and sand pavements on the beach have not stopped the sea erosion as the water continues to devour patches of the beach, endangering the newly constructed city in progress. Moreover, Lagos City's people will be compelled to immigrate to the city, causing a wave of resentment among the citizens for being relocated more than once, as Lagos City has expelled its citizens before. These issues have put the fate of Eko Atlantic City, which is not even completed yet, in jeopardy, making it one of the potentially useless or dangerous mega projects currently on the world map. Moving on,
Traveling back to the United States, it's time to investigate the Chicago Spire. Planned as a 20-foot twisting skyscraper overlooking Lake Michigan, the Spire promised luxury urban living with unparalleled views of Chicago's skyline. However, today it exists only as an infamous hole in the ground. Designed by renowned architect Santiago Calatrava, the Chicago Spire was to feature a unique, spiraling design that would include 1,200 luxury condominiums. The development was launched with fanfare in 2007, a time when the real estate market was booming and demand for high-end residential properties in Chicago was strong. The project initially attracted significant interest, with potential buyers putting down deposits for many of the units. At the time of its conception, the Chicago Spire was estimated to cost over $1 billion, making it one of the most expensive residential projects ever undertaken in the United States. The global financial crisis of '28 was a severe blow to many sectors, but especially to real estate. As the market crashed, financing dried up, and the ambitious plans for the Spire unraveled quickly. The project's developer faced insurmountable financial difficulties, including lawsuits from creditors and an eventual bankruptcy. By 2014, with only a massive foundational hole excavated and no structure built, the project was officially canceled. Nowadays, the Chicago Spire site has become a glaring hole near Navy Pier, prompting city planners and residents alike to lament its status as a wasted opportunity. Despite multiple attempts to revive the project under new management, including a 2018 proposal that also failed to secure necessary funding, the site remains undeveloped. The hole for the foundation, which is 76 feet deep and 110 feet in diameter, is a physical reminder of the project's lofty ambitions and profound failures. Let's travel to Canada to investigate Mirabel International Airport. Envisioned in the 1960s during the jet age's euphoria, Mirabel was intended to replace Montreal Trudeau Airport, accommodating an expected surge in international travel. It officially opened in 1975, boasting one of the world's largest airport zones at over 70 square kilometers larger than the island of Montreal itself. However, it soon became evident that this ambitious project was mired in misjudgments and inefficiencies. Mirabel was constructed with a capacity to handle 50 million passengers per year, a number that starkly contrasted with its peak usage of only 2.8 million passengers in 1979. The airport's downfall was precipitated by several critical flaws. Firstly, its location was impractical. Situated 39 kilometers northwest of Montreal, it was too remote for most travelers, lacking direct highway or rail links to the city center at its inception. Secondly, Mirabel's focus shifted exclusively to cargo and charter flights by 1997, significantly diminishing its role. Its vast passenger facilities echoed with emptiness, leading to its complete shutdown of passenger operations in 2004. Have you ever seen a ghost terminal? Mirabel's passenger terminal, once buzzing with travelers, transformed into a ghostly expanse of unused gates and vacant corridors. Efforts to revive or repurpose Mirabel were consistently stymied by its original design and location flaws. Although the cargo sector continued to operate, the vast majority of the infrastructure lay dormant, leading to the demolition of the passenger terminal in 2016. Despite its failure as a passenger hub, Mirabel found a niche in aircraft manufacturing and maintenance. It is home to Bombardier Aerospace, which utilizes the expansive property for assembling various aircraft models. But what about an entire Olympic park being left to rot? That's what happened to the Sochi Olympic facilities in Russia, which were erected for the 2014 Winter Olympics. These facilities were part of a monumental effort that saw the country spend over $50 billion, making it the most expensive Olympics in history. This ambitious project transformed Sochi, a relatively obscure Black Sea resort city, into a winter sports wonderland almost overnight. However, the glittering facade of success hides a less glamorous reality of these megastructures. The Sochi Games involved the creation of an entirely new Olympic park and the development of numerous state-of-the-art sports venues from scratch, including a ski resort, a bobsleigh track, and facilities for hockey and skating, among others. While the Games themselves were a spectacle, drawing athletes and spectators from around the globe, the aftermath tells a story of grandiosity giving way to ghostliness. Despite promises of transforming the Olympic venues into bustling centers for sports and tourism, many of them have seen little use post-Olympics. The Adler Arena, once the heartbeat of speed skating events, was repurposed as an exhibition hall, an underwhelming fate for a facility that witnessed record-breaking performances. The Formula One Russian Grand Prix, hosted at the Sochi Autodrome within the Olympic Park, stands out as a notable exception. However, this race was last held in 2021 and shows no signs of returning to track either. The Rosacudar Alpine Resort, though continuing to operate and even hosting some international competitions, struggles to attract the vast numbers of tourists initially anticipated. The maintenance costs for these colossal facilities are staggering, with the Russian government shouldering the financial burden to prevent total dereliction. Post-Olympics, the park and its surrounding facilities cost the Russian government an estimated $50 million annually in upkeep. Moving away from Canada, let's check out the abandoned Sheffield Ski Village, located in the United Kingdom. Opening in 1988, this facility was one of the largest artificial ski resorts in Europe, offering skiing, snowboarding, and tobogganing across its expansive site that included a main slope, a nursery slope, and freestyle areas. In its heyday, Sheffield Ski Village drew crowds from across the country, nurturing a generation of winter sports enthusiasts and even producing Olympians like James Woods. At its peak, Sheffield Ski Village boasted over 30,000 visitors a year and was integral in promoting winter sports among the British youth. However, the facility's fortune began to decline in the 2000s. The reasons for the ski village's downfall are multifaceted. Primarily, it suffered from chronic underinvestment. While the allure of artificial slopes in a country known for mild winters was clear, the financial backing did not keep pace with the facility's maintenance needs. The equipment and infrastructure aged, lessening the site's appeal compared to newer, more modern facilities. And on top of that, disaster struck in 2012 when a massive fire ravaged the ski village, destroying the main building and several slopes. Despite initial promises to rebuild, subsequent smaller fires and continued vandalism completely devastated the remaining structures, making any potential recovery efforts economically unfeasible. Today, the site of Sheffield Ski Village is a desolate landscape, frequented more by urban explorers and graffiti artists than by sports enthusiasts. Let's travel to the United States, where a useless water park megaproject is located. Walt Disney's River Country, the first water park at Walt Disney World in Florida, opened to great fanfare in 1976. Positioned on the shores of Bay Lake near the Magic Kingdom, it was themed as an old-fashioned swimming hole, complete with sandy bottoms, rustic wilderness, and all the charm expected from a Disney venture. Despite its initial popularity, River Country's story turned from a pioneering project to a deserted relic. The park was designed to give guests an experience akin to swimming in a lake, with water sourced directly from Bay Lake, filtered and treated before entering the pools. However, the idyllic concept faced unanticipated challenges that contributed to its decline. The water park model that River Country epitomized became outdated as more sophisticated, thrill-seeking water parks emerged. Newer parks offered more extensive, adrenaline-pumping attractions, unlike River Country's gentle slides and tame pools. A significant blow to its operation was the change in water safety perceptions and regulations. In the early 1980s, concerns about brain-eating amoebas found in natural bodies of warm fresh water like Bay Lake began to surface. Although no incidents were reported in River Country, the potential risk became a public relations challenge. This issue, coupled with the logistical difficulties of upgrading the old infrastructure, made compliance complex and costly. The park operated seasonally until it closed indefinitely in November 2001. At its peak, River Country attracted nearly 14,700 visitors on busy days, a number dwarfed by the tens of thousands who visit Disney's newer parks daily. Let's travel to Thailand next, where a gigantic unfinished skyscraper sits without any purpose whatsoever, called the Sathorn Unique Tower. Known locally as the Ghost Tower, this 49-story skyscraper was meant to be a luxurious residential complex offering panoramic views of the bustling city and the meandering Chao Phraya River. However, its skeletal frame now stands as a stark symbol of economic failure and architectural hubris. Sathorn Unique Tower was over 80% complete when construction halted in 1997 due to the Asian financial crisis, which wreaked havoc on Thailand's economy. The crisis led to severe devaluation of the Thai baht, causing funding to dry up and leaving the tower in its now infamous abandoned state. The design of Sathorn Unique promised luxury, living in the heart of Bangkok's vibrant Sathorn district, a prime location that was quickly developing into a financial hub. The building's construction began in the euphoric economic conditions of the mid-1990s, under the direction of prominent architect Rangson Torsuan. At the time, the Thai economy was experiencing rapid growth, and the real estate market was booming with an insatiable appetite for high-end residential and commercial spaces. However, as the financial crisis took hold, real estate projects across Bangkok were left incomplete. The cost of completing the tower is now estimated to exceed the potential market value of the finished building, making financial recovery through completion a near impossible endeavor. This economic impracticality cements its status as a permanent fixture of Bangkok's list of failed projects. It's time to travel to Sri Lanka next for a gigantic near-empty airport. Matala Rajapaksa International Airport in Sri Lanka, dubbed the world's emptiest airport, serves as a stark illustration of misplaced priorities. Opened in 2013, the airport was intended to stimulate economic growth, attract international tourists, and act as a backup to the Bandaranaike International Airport in Colombo. However, with its remote location in the Hambantota district, far from major tourist attractions or business centers, the airport has struggled to attract both airlines and passengers. It was built with a capacity to handle 1 million passengers per year, yet reports suggest it has seen days where not a single commercial flight landed or took off. The airport's inception is deeply tied to China's Belt and Road Initiative, with Chinese loans and contractors playing a pivotal role in its construction. Costing over $200 million, the project aimed to turn Hambantota into a vibrant economic hub. Matala Rajapaksa's isolation from Sri Lanka's main urban and tourist areas severely hindered its operational viability. The airport is approximately 250 kilometers away from Colombo, a fact that deterred both international airlines and passengers who preferred the more accessible Bandaranaike International Airport. Despite the optimistic projections, by 2018 the airport had become virtually deserted, with the few airlines that initially showed interest eventually discontinuing their services due to low passenger numbers. The airport has not been without its unique uses though. At various points, its expansive runway and lack of traffic have seen it proposed for alternative uses, such as storing paddy and other grains, and even as a setting for car races and music videos. Staying in the United States, let's visit a massive railway project called the Desert Express High-Speed Rail. Envisioned as a high-speed rail line between Las Vegas and Southern California, this rail link was meant to reduce travel times from an average of 4 hours to approximately 84 minutes. However, the Desert Express has struggled to move past the conceptual and early developmental stages. The project was first proposed in 2005, with plans to use state-of-the-art electric trains capable of speeds up to 150 miles per hour. From the outset, the Express was touted for its potential to ease traffic congestion on the heavily traveled Interstate 15 freeway, a notorious bottleneck for tourists and truckers alike. The initial phase aimed to connect Las Vegas to Victorville, California, with further plans to extend the line to Palmdale and eventually tie into California's statewide high-speed rail network. The choice of Victorville as the southern terminus raised eyebrows from the beginning. Critics argued that Victorville, located approximately 85 miles northeast of downtown Los Angeles, was too remote to serve as an effective gateway to Southern California. Potential riders would still face a considerable drive to reach the train station, thereby diminishing the perceived convenience of high-speed rail travel. And to make matters even worse, funding the project proved to be a Herculean task too. The estimated cost for just the initial segment was about $5 billion, with the complete line to Palmdale projected at over $7 billion. While federal loans and private investments were considered, securing the necessary capital became an ongoing challenge, exacerbated by the economic fluctuations and political hesitations over government spending on infrastructure projects. Surveys indicated that the rail could attract up to 11 million passengers annually by offering a convenient alternative to the arduous drive. Despite this, the necessary momentum to finalize funding and commence construction has been elusive. As of now, the future of the Express remains uncertain. But have you ever seen this large abandoned ghost city, constructed for thousands of people, that remains empty until this day? Ordos, China, often referred to as the largest ghost town in the world, epitomizes the potential pitfalls of overzealous urban planning. Located in Inner Mongolia, this city was intended to be a modern metropolis to rival Beijing and Shanghai, equipped with state-of-the-art infrastructure, luxurious residential districts, and all the amenities needed for a thriving urban center. The new area of Ordos, known as Kangbashi, was designed with expansive boulevards and imposing government buildings that echo the grandeur of major world capitals. Initially, interest in Kangbashi was high, and property values soared as investors rushed to stake their claim in what was touted as a symbol of China's rise. However, the reality of living in a remote, newly constructed city soon set in. Kangbashi lacked the essential organic growth that nurtures a city's development. It was too far from major trade routes and economic centers, and there were few employment opportunities outside the construction sector. Like many other failed megaprojects, the global financial crisis of 2008 and China's subsequent economic slowdown exposed the vulnerabilities in the real estate market, which was heavily leveraged and speculative. By 2010, it became clear that the demand Ordos had anticipated simply wasn't materializing. The streets of Kangbashi are now lined with empty skyscrapers, vacant apartments, and deserted shopping malls. Its public spaces, such as the massive theater and the museum, see few visitors. Infrastructure, though largely completed, decays slowly due to underuse. Despite the capacity to house hundreds of thousands, Kangbashi's actual population has lingered in the low tens of thousands, leaving much of the city uninhabited. Staying in the United States, it's time to look at a gigantic, useless super collider megaproject. The Texas Superconducting Super Collider represents one of the most significant and infamous abandoned scientific projects in history. Intended to be the world's largest and most powerful particle accelerator, the collider was designed to propel the United States to the forefront of particle physics research. Launched in the late 1980s in Waxahachie, Texas, the project's main component was to be a 54-mile ring of superconducting magnets, buried underground, designed to accelerate protons to unprecedented speeds. The total cost for the super collider was initially estimated at $4.4 billion in 1987. By the time the project was canceled in 1993, costs had escalated to over $12 billion, almost tripling the original estimate. The early stages of construction saw significant progress, including the completion of over 14 miles of the tunnel and the installation of infrastructure. Employment at the site peaked, with thousands of scientists and engineers drawn to Texas by the promise of groundbreaking research. The local economy boomed with anticipation of becoming a global science hub. However, trouble brewed as the Cold War ended and fiscal conservatism rose in the United States. The project's vast scientific ambitions soon became a target for Congress, which was under increasing pressure to reduce spending. Critics argued that the high costs could not justify the potential scientific benefits, especially in a post-Cold War era prioritizing economic prudence over scientific supremacy. In 1993, the House of Representatives delivered a devastating blow by voting to terminate the Collider project, influenced by a strong push from the Clinton administration to trim federal deficits. The federal government spent approximately $2 billion on the project, and Texas invested around $400 million in supporting infrastructure, much of which remains underutilized. Next up, it's time to go to Dubai. Located here is Dubai Land, which was once envisioned as one of the largest and most extravagant tourist destinations on the planet. Announced in 2023, Dubai Land was designed to be the Middle East answer to Orlando's Walt Disney World, expected to dramatically elevate the United Arab Emirates' position in the global tourism hierarchy. Spanning an area of 278 square kilometers, it was to feature theme parks, sports venues, and a vast array of residential developments. The original plans for Dubai Land projected it would attract 15 million tourists each year by the time it was fully operational in 2018. The project broke ground in 2004 with high expectations. However, the 2008 global financial crisis severely impacted Dubai's real estate market, stalling many construction projects and leaving Dubai Land in a precarious position. Funding evaporated as real estate prices crashed and the global economy sputtered. As Dubai's economy began to recover, some parts of the Dubai Land project were gradually resumed, but the original vision was heavily downsized and segmented. Several planned attractions were permanently shellacked or transformed into more feasible projects. For instance, the Tiger Woods Dubai, a luxury golf community within Dubai Land, was shelved indefinitely. Today, large portions of the intended Dubai Land area remain undeveloped, with infrastructure partially completed and then left to languish, visible from nearby highways. The total investment in Dubai Land was projected to be over $64 billion, making it one of the most ambitious entertainment complexes ever conceived. But have you ever heard of the unfinished bridge megaproject that leads to nowhere? Officially known as the Gravina Island Bridge, it was intended to connect the small town of Ketchikan, Alaska, with its neighboring Gravina Island, home to just a few dozen residents and the local airport. The proposal for the Gravina Island Bridge emerged as part of a broader initiative to improve transportation infrastructures in rural Alaska. The bridge's planned span was nearly as long as the Golden Gate Bridge and taller than the Brooklyn Bridge, designed to replace the existing ferry service with direct access to the island. The project was slated to cost approximately $398 million, with a significant portion coming from federal earmarks, including $223 million facilitated by Alaska's congressional delegation. The bridge quickly drew national attention and ridicule when it was revealed that federal taxpayers were footing the bill for a bridge to an island with so few residents. Dubbed the Bridge to Nowhere by media and critics, it became a heated subject in debates over federal pork barrel spending. The controversy intensified in 2006 when it was used as a prime example in discussions about wasteful expenditures in government projects. Political pressure and public outcry eventually led to the reallocation of the bridge's federal funding to other state projects in 2007. Alaska's government chose not to pursue the bridge project further, given the scrutiny and the burgeoning costs associated with it. The already constructed approach ramps on Gravina Island now serve as a stark reminder of the aborted project, leading to nowhere and serving no practical purpose. Despite the cancellation of the bridge, the state of Alaska had already spent about $25 million on road upgrades on Gravina Island, which are barely used today. But what about a giant Olympic village that became completely useless today? The 2004 Athens Olympics were envisioned as a triumphant return of the modern games to their ancient birthplace. The city embarked on an extensive building spree ahead of the Games, constructing new sports complexes and upgrading infrastructure at an estimated cost of over $11 billion. At their conclusion, the 24 Games were considered a logistical success, having hosted 10,625 athletes, the largest number ever at the time. The event itself ran smoothly, but the problems began soon after the closing ceremony. Many of the Olympic venues quickly fell into disuse after the Games ended. The once buzzing Olympic Village, the Canoe Slalom Center, and the baseball stadium are now in various states of decay. Lack of planning for post-Olympic use has resulted in these facilities resembling ghost towns, starkly illustrating the consequences of inadequate legacy planning. The financial repercussions of the Games were severe for Greece, a country that would soon find itself at the epicenter of the Eurozone financial crisis. The debt incurred from the Olympics added strain to the nation's already fragile economic condition. A 2013 report from the University of Oxford labeled the Athens Olympics as one of the most overt examples of poorly judged spending, noting that many of the facilities were built without any plans for future use. Despite the initial projections, visitor numbers to the Olympic venues post-games have consistently fallen short. For example, the Helsinki Olympic complex, which cost hundreds of millions of euros to construct, attracted fewer than 100 visitors on some days in the years following the Olympics. The Kola Superdeep borehole, once the deepest hole ever drilled at more than 12 kilometers or 7.5 miles beneath the Earth's surface, stands as a monument to human curiosity. Initiated in 1970 by Soviet scientists on the Kola Peninsula, the project's aim was to probe the geology of the Earth's crust and to decipher the mysteries lying beneath. However, despite its groundbreaking depth, the project serves as a peculiar example of a scientific endeavor that, while achieving a record, yielded few practical results and was eventually abandoned. The project reached its maximum depth of around 40,000 feet in 1989, making it the world's deepest hole, a record it still holds today. The extreme depth brought extreme temperatures, which rose much higher than expected, reaching over 180 degrees Celsius or 356 degrees Fahrenheit. These conditions made further drilling near impossible as the drill bits could not withstand the heat. By the early 1990s, following the dissolution of the Soviet Union, funding for the project dried up. The scientific outpost around the borehole was gradually abandoned, and the site fell into disrepair, with the borehole itself being sealed. Despite reaching deeper into the Earth than any other drill attempt, the borehole penetrated just 0.2% of the way to the Earth's center. But what about an entire failed eco-city? Dongtan Eco City on Chongming Island in Shanghai, China, was once hailed as a pioneering venture. Planned as the world's first eco-city, Dongtan was ambitiously projected to house up to 500,000 people by 2050, creating a green and self-sustaining urban environment. Launched with grand aspirations in 2005, the project promised to set a global benchmark for sustainable living. However, it gradually fizzled into obscurity, becoming an exemplary case of a green megaproject that never materialized. Dongtan was designed to be built on an 8,600-hectare site on Chongming Island, near the Yangtze River estuary. The plan was to minimize carbon output, maximize the use of renewable resources, and create a car-free urban environment. Energy was to be generated by wind and solar, food would be grown locally, and a ban on cars would be enforced to maintain air quality. The city was designed to be completed in phases, with the first phase ready by 2010, coinciding with the Shanghai World Expo. From its inception, Dongtan faced significant bureaucratic and operational challenges. The overlapping authority between different governmental levels led to inconsistent support and eventual stagnation of the initiative. The eco-city's ambitious scope required seamless coordination between numerous governmental and private stakeholders, but that coordination was severely lacking. Moreover, allegations of corruption involving key project leaders further tainted the venture. The arrest of Shanghai's party secretary on unrelated corruption charges in 2006 sent ripples through the political landscape that paralyzed progress. As the years passed, the initial groundwork that had begun on Dongtan stalled indefinitely. By 2010, the site remained largely agricultural land, with only sporadic developments hinting at the grand urban plans once envisioned. Despite China's rapid urbanization, which sees millions of rural residents moving to cities, Dongtan would have been one of the few urban projects globally to integrate ecological principles from the ground up, rather than as an afterthought.
Let's move over to Egypt now, where the Grand Egyptian Museum is being constructed. Located near the pyramids of Giza, this $1 billion project covers approximately 120 acres and showcases Egypt's rich cultural heritage through state-of-the-art exhibits and facilities. One of the primary engineering challenges was creating a stable foundation for the massive structure, given the proximity to the pyramids and the potential for archaeological discoveries during excavation. Engineers employed advanced ground-penetrating radar and other non-invasive techniques to survey the site before construction, ensuring that any significant archaeological finds could be documented and preserved. The construction of the Grand Egyptian Museum involved several advanced engineering techniques. The building's foundations required deep excavation and the use of high-strength concrete to support the massive weight of the structure. To address the region's seismic activity, engineers incorporated earthquake-resistant features, such as base isolators and flexible joints, into the design. These features help absorb and dissipate seismic energy, protecting the structure from potential damage during an earthquake. One of the most striking features of the museum is the massive 82-ton statue of Ramses II, which stands in the entrance atrium. Engineers used a specially designed gantry crane and sophisticated system of rollers and supports to transport and position the statue without causing any damage. The sheer size of the project required the coordination of thousands of workers and the management of vast amounts of materials. Engineers employ advanced project management software to monitor progress, allocate resources, and address any issue that arose during construction. We have to travel over to Singapore next, where the Jurong Island expansion project stands. This multi-billion-dollar project involves extensive land reclamation, construction of industrial facilities, and development of supporting infrastructure. The land reclamation process at Jurong Island uses advanced dredging equipment and techniques to ensure the stability and sustainability of the reclaimed land. Cutter suction dredgers and trailing suction hopper dredgers are used to excavate and transport sand from offshore borough areas to the reclamation site. The dredged material is then pumped into designated areas where it is compacted and stabilized to create a solid foundation for industrial facilities. The construction of industrial facilities at Jurong Island involves significant engineering and logistical challenges. These facilities include refineries, chemical plants, storage tanks, and pipelines, which require extensive planning and coordination to ensure safe and efficient operations. Utility infrastructure is another critical component of the Jurong Island expansion. This includes the installation of water supply and distribution systems, wastewater treatment facilities, and power generation and distribution networks. The water supply system involves constructing desalination plants and reservoirs to provide a reliable source of fresh water to industrial plants and substations to supply electricity to the industrial facilities. The power plants are designed to use natural gas as the primary fuel source, with backup generators to ensure a continuous power supply in case of outages. In addition to the construction of industrial facilities and infrastructure, the Jurong Island expansion also involves the development of supporting facilities such as offices, laboratories, and storage warehouses. These facilities provide the necessary support for the industrial activities and ensure the smooth and efficient operation of the petrochemical hub. Next up, we travel over to the country of Nigeria to talk about the Third Mainland Bridge. Originally opened in 1990, the Third Mainland Bridge spans 11.8 kilometers and is the longest of 3 bridges connecting Lagos Island to the mainland. The expansion and rehabilitation project, costing approximately $300 million, focuses on addressing structural wear and improving traffic flow in one of Africa's most populous cities. Construction commenced in 2018 with a focus on repairing the bridge's deteriorating sections and enhancing its structural integrity. One of the primary engineering challenges was the need to work on a live bridge that supports over 100,000 vehicles daily. To minimize disruptions, the project was executed in phases with specific sections of the bridge closed for repair while traffic was rerouted to alternate routes. This required precise planning and coordination to ensure safety and efficiency. The rehabilitation work involved several advanced engineering techniques. Structural assessments revealed issues with the bridge's expansion joints, bearings, and docking. To address these, engineers employed high-pressure water jets to remove deteriorated concrete and replaced it with high-performance materials that offer greater durability. The expansion joints, critical for accommodating thermal expansion and contraction, were replaced with modern flexible joints designed to withstand heavy traffic loads and environmental conditions. In addition to structural repairs, the project included the installation of new asphalt overlays to improve the road's surface. This involved milling the existing surface to create a suitable base for the new asphalt layers. Engineers used state-of-the-art paving machines to ensure smooth and even surfaces, essential for enhancing driving comfort and reducing wear and tear on vehicles. One of the innovative solutions employed in the project was the use of underwater drones to inspect and repair the bridge's underwater supports. These drones, equipped with high-definition cameras and sonar technology, provided detailed images and data on the condition of the submerged structures. The successful completion of the Third Mainland Bridge expansion is expected to significantly improve traffic flow and safety in Lagos, reducing congestion and travel times for commuters. Next up, we have to move over to Japan for the Azabudai Hills project, located in Tokyo. The project, costing approximately $5.5 billion, covers an area of 8.1 hectares and includes 3 skyscrapers, green spaces, and public facilities. Construction of Azabudai Hills began in 2019, with the project expected to be completed by the end of 2024. One of the primary challenges in this project is the dense urban environment in which it is being built. To minimize disruption to the surrounding area, construction is being carried out in phases, with careful planning and coordination to ensure safety and efficiency. The project features 3 high-rise buildings with the tallest reaching a height of 330 meters. These buildings will house offices, apartments, hotels, and retail spaces, creating a vibrant mixed-use environment. A key innovation in the Azabudai Hills project is the integration of green spaces and public facilities within the urban environment. The development includes a central park which covers approximately 24,000 square meters and provides a green oasis in the heart of the city. The project also incorporates state-of-the-art sustainability features such as energy-efficient building systems, renewable energy sources, and advanced waste management systems. One of the significant engineering challenges in the Azabudai Hills project is the construction of the underground infrastructure. This includes the creation of underground parking facilities, utility tunnels, and pedestrian networks that connects the various buildings and public spaces. Advanced tunneling and excavation techniques are used to ensure the stability and safety of the underground structures, while minimizing the impact of the surrounding environment. In addition to its architectural and environmental features, Azabudai Hills aims to create a sense of community and connectivity within the urban environment. The development includes a range of public amenities such as schools, healthcare facilities, and community centers, which are designed to meet the needs of residents. But what about the International Thermonuclear Experimental Reactor project located in France? Located in Saint-Paul-les-Durance, this international project involves 35 countries and has an estimated cost of around $25 billion. Construction of the project began in 2010, with the project entering the assembly phase in 2020. The reactor is designed to produce 500 megawatts of fusion power from an input of just 50 megawatts, achieving a 10-fold energy gain, which would be groundbreaking of a milestone in fusion technology. The primary construction challenge is the sheer scale and complexity of the reactor components, many of which are being manufactured and assembled for the first time. The core of the project is the tokamak, a donut-shaped vacuum chamber where the fusion reaction occurs. The tokamak must withstand extreme conditions, including temperatures of up to 150 million degrees Celsius, 10 times hotter than the core of the sun. This requires using superconducting magnets to create powerful magnetic fields that confine the hot plasma within the chamber, preventing it from contacting the walls. The construction of these superconducting magnets is a major engineering feat. Each magnet, known as a toroidal field coil, weighs around 360 tons and comprises several kilometers of superconducting cable. These cables are made from a special alloy that becomes superconducting at very low temperatures, maintained by cooling systems using liquid helium. The project also involves constructing numerous supporting facilities, including cryogenic plants, cooling towers, and electrical substations. These facilities are essential for maintaining the reactor's operation and ensuring the safety and stability of the fusion process. One of the key innovations in the project is the use of remote handling systems for maintenance and repairs. Given the extreme conditions inside the tokamak, human access is impossible, necessitating the development of robotic systems capable of performing complex tasks with high precision. These systems are designed to operate in the harsh environment of the reactor, handling radioactive materials and high temperatures. Let's investigate the Bogota Metro project next, which is located in Colombia. The first line of this metro development, costing approximately $4.3 billion, will stretch over 24 kilometers and include 16 stations, serving millions of residents in Bogota. Construction of the Bogota Metro began in 2020, with the project expected to be completed by 2028. One of the primary challenges of this project is the dense urban environment in which it began to be constructed. To minimize disruptions to the city, much of the metro line is being built underground, requiring extensive tunneling and excavation work. The use of tunnel boring machines is essential for this task, as they can efficiently and safely excavate the tunnels while minimizing surface disruptions. The metro line is designed to accommodate high-capacity trains that can transport up to 72,000 passengers per hour. One of the innovative aspects of the Metro project is the integration of advanced signaling and control systems. The Metro will use a communication-based train control system, which allows for real-time monitoring and control of train movements. The construction of the Metro also involves significant coordination with existing infrastructure and utilities. Engineers must carefully plan and execute the tunneling and excavation work to avoid disrupting critical services such as water, electricity, and telecommunications. This requires detailed mapping and analysis of the underground environment, as well as the use of advanced construction techniques to ensure the stability and integrity of the surrounding infrastructure. The Bogota Metro is expected to have a transformative impact on the city's transportation system. By providing a reliable and efficient alternative to road transport, the Metro will help reduce traffic congestion and travel times for commuters. Let's travel over to Australia for the WestConnex project. This $16.8 billion development involves the construction of 33 kilometers of new and upgraded motorways, including tunnels, interchanges, and expressways. One of the significant engineering challenges in the WestConnex project is constructing the extensive tunnel network. The tunnels are built using tunnel boring machines, which can simultaneously excavate and line the tunnels with concrete segments. This method ensures a smooth and efficient construction process, minimizing disruption to the surface environment. The boring machines used in the project are some of the largest in the world, with diameters up to 15.5 meters. Another innovative aspect of the WestConnex project is using smart technology to manage traffic flow and improve safety. The motorways are equipped with an intelligent transport system that includes real-time traffic monitoring, electronic signage, and automated incident detection. This system helps manage congestion and ensures a swift response to any incident, enhancing the overall efficiency of the road network. Measures have been taken to minimize the environmental impact of the construction and operation of the motorways. This includes using low-emission construction equipment, implementing noise barriers, and green walls to reduce noise pollution. One of the key benefits of the WestConnex project is a significant reduction in travel times for commuters. By providing new and upgraded motorways, the project aims to alleviate congestion for some of Sydney's busiest roads, making it easier and faster for people to travel across the city. It's time to travel over to the United States for the Gilmerton Bridge Replacement Mega Project. The new bridge, costing approximately $134 million, aims to improve traffic flow and safety for the thousands of vehicles and vessels that pass through this corridor daily. Construction of the Gilmerton Bridge replacement began in 2009, with the new bridge opening to traffic in 2013. The new bridge is a vertical lift bridge, which provides several advantages over the old bascule bridge. The vertical lift design allows for a higher clearance for maritime traffic, reducing the number of bridge openings and minimizing delays for both road and river traffic. The new bridge features a vertical clearance of 35 feet when closed and up to 135 feet when fully lifted, accommodating larger vessels that navigate the river. The construction of the bridge includes several advanced engineering techniques. The bridge's foundations were constructed using drilled shafts, which provide greater stability and load-bearing capacity compared to traditional pile foundations. These shafts were drilled deep into the riverbed, and the bridge could support the heavy traffic loads and withstand the harsh environmental conditions of the river. One of the key innovations in the Gilmerton Bridge replacement project was the use of precast concrete segments for the bridge's superstructure. These segments were manufactured off-site and transported to the construction site, where they were assembled using a balanced cantilever method. The project also included significant upgrades to the bridge's mechanical and electrical systems. The new bridge is equipped with state-of-the-art lifting machinery and control systems, ensuring reliable and efficient operation. The project included the construction of new pedestrian and bicycle pathways, enhancing accessibility and promoting alternative methods of transportation. It's time to talk about the Jakarta-Bandung high-speed rail in Indonesia, which is an ambitious project aimed at significantly reducing travel time between Jakarta and Bandung from over 3 hours to approximately 40 minutes. With an estimated cost of $6 billion, this project is Indonesia's first high-speed rail venture. Construction began in 2016, focused on advanced construction techniques and technologies. One of the primary engineering challenges was the diverse terrain between Jakarta and Bandung, necessitating the construction of numerous bridges and tunnels. The line features 13 tunnels, including the Walini Tunnel, the longest at 4.5 kilometers. The construction of these tunnels employed tunnel boring machines, essential for efficiently and safely excavating through varied geological conditions. The rail line is designed to accommodate speeds up to 250 kilometers per hour, requiring the use of high-strength materials and precision engineering to ensure safety and stability. The tracks are laid on a slab track system, which provides greater durability and requires less maintenance compared to traditional ballast tracks. This system involves laying the rails on concrete slabs to fix in place with high-precision techniques to maintain the alignment and smoothness required for high-speed travel. A significant challenge faced during the construction was minimizing the impact on densely populated areas along the route. To address this, elevated tracks and viaducts were constructed in several sections, reducing the need for land acquisition and minimizing disruptions to local communities. Another critical aspect of the construction process was ensuring the rail line's resilience to seismic activity. Indonesia is located in a seismically active region, so the design incorporates earthquake-resistant features. These include flexible track systems and shock-absorbing materials that can withstand significant ground movement without compromising the rail line's integrity. Logistics played a crucial role in the project's success, given the scale and complexity of the construction. Materials and equipment had to be transported to various construction sites along the 142.3-kilometer route. This required a well-coordinated supply chain and efficient transportation network to ensure timely delivery and minimize delays. It's time to travel over to the country of China. Here, the Shanghai-Nantong Yangtze River Bridge is a major infrastructure project designed to improve connectivity between Shanghai and Nantong. This $3.5 billion bridge spans 11 kilometers across the Yangtze River, making it one of the longest cable-stayed bridges in the world. Construction of the bridge began in 2014, with the project completed in 2020. One of the primary engineering challenges was constructing a bridge that would accommodate both road and rail traffic. The bridge features a dual-use design, with a 6-lane highway on the upper deck and a 4-track railway on the lower deck. This design requires advanced engineering techniques to ensure the bridge's stability and load-bearing capacity. The bridge's main span is 1,092 meters long, supported by 2 towers that reach a height of 325 meters. These towers are among the tallest bridge towers in the world, requiring precise engineering and construction techniques. The towers are constructed using high-strength concrete and reinforced steel to withstand the heavy loads and environmental conditions of the Yangtze River. One of the key innovations in constructing the Shanghai-Nantong Yangtze River Bridge is the use of large-diameter steel cables to support the bridge deck. These cables are made from high-strength steel and can bear the significant weight of the combined road and rail traffic. The cables are anchored in massive concrete blocks on either side of the river, providing the necessary tension to support the bridge deck. The construction of the bridge also involved extensive foundation work, using deep-water drilling techniques to create stable foundations in the riverbed. These foundations are designed to resist the strong currents and seismic activity of the region, ensuring the long-term stability and safety of the bridge. Engineers employed advanced geotechnical analysis and testing to ensure the foundations could withstand the dynamic forces exerted by the river in passing trains. We move over to Australia next for the Shell Prelude FLNG mega project. This $12.6 billion project involves constructing a massive floating platform, which is the largest floating structure ever built. The FLNG facility is 488 meters long, 74 meters wide, and weighs approximately 600,000 tons when fully loaded. The hull of the platform was constructed using high-strength steel to withstand the forces exerted by the waves, wind, and currents. The steel plates were fabricated in sections and then assembled onto large blocks, which were transported to the construction site and welded together. One of the key components of the FLNG facility is the topside, which houses the gas processing, liquefaction, and storage equipment. The topside modules were constructed using a modular approach, where each module was fabricated and pre-assembled off-site and then transported to the construction site for installation. The liquefaction process involves cooling the natural gas to minus 162 degrees Celsius, converting it into a liquid form for storage transport. The FLNG facility is equipped with advanced liquefaction technology, including cryogenic heat exchangers and refrigeration units. These systems are designed to operate efficiently and reliably in the challenging offshore environment. The construction of the facility also involved installing subsea infrastructure to connect the platform to the gas fields. This includes installation of subsea walls, flow lines, and risers, which transport the natural gas from the seabed to the platform. One of the key innovations in the project is using dynamic positioning technology to maintain the platform's position without requiring anchoring or mooring lines. The DP system uses thrusters and advanced control algorithms to counteract the forces of wind, waves, and currents, ensuring the platform remains stable and secure. But what about the Cross River Rail project in Australia? This $5.4 billion project involves the construction of a 10.2-kilometer rail line, including a 5.9-kilometer twin tunnel under the Brisbane River in the city center. Construction of the Cross River Rail began in 2019, with the project expected to be completed by the end of 2024. One of the primary challenges of this project is the need to construct the tunnels beneath a densely populated urban area. To minimize disruption to the city, tunnel boring machines are used to excavate the tunnels. These machines can efficiently and safely bore through the ground while minimizing surface disruptions. The project also includes the construction of 4 new underground stations, which are designed to accommodate high-capacity trains and provide modern, accessible facilities for passengers. The project also involves significant upgrades to existing infrastructure, including track realignment and station enhancements. These upgrades are designed to improve the overall capacity and efficiency of Brisbane's rail network, providing a more reliable and convenient service for passengers. Environmental and social considerations are a key focus of the Cross River Rail project. Measures are being implemented to minimize the environmental impact of the construction and operation of the rail line. By providing a reliable and efficient alternative to road transport, the rail line will help reduce traffic congestion and travel times for commuters. In addition to the construction jobs, the operation and maintenance of the rail line will create long-term employment opportunities, further contributing to economic growth and development. But we haven't talked about the Maputo-Katembe Bridge yet, located in Mozambique. Construction of this bridge began in 2014 and was completed in 2018. One of the primary engineering challenges was constructing a bridge that can span the wide expanse of Maputo Bay while withstanding the region's environmental conditions. The bridge features a main span of 680 meters, supported by 2 massive towers that rise 137 meters above the water. The construction of the bridge's towers involved using high-strength concrete and reinforced steel. The towers were constructed using slip-form construction techniques, where concrete is continuously poured into a moving formwork that gradually climbs the structure. This method allows for more efficient and continuous construction of tall structures with consistent quality. The towers were designed to withstand strong winds and seismic activity, ensuring the bridge's stability and safety. The bridge's deck is suspended from the towers using large-diameter steel cables. These cables are made from high-strength steel and are capable of bearing significant loads. The cables were fabricated in sections, then transported to the construction site, where they were then assembled and installed using specialized cranes and cable-spanning techniques. The deck itself is composed of precast concrete segments, which were manufactured off-site and then transported and assembled on-site. The construction of the bridge's foundations involved significant geotechnical challenges. The foundations were constructed using large-diameter bored piles, which were drilled deep into the seabed to provide the necessary support for the bridge towers. The piles were reinforced with steel cages and filled with high-strength concrete to ensure their durability and load-bearing capacity. The construction process also included the installation of expansion joints and bearings to accommodate the bridge's movements due to thermal expansion, traffic loads, and seismic activity. The expansion joints are designed to allow for controlled movements of the bridge deck while maintaining a smooth and continuous driving surface. We have to talk about the port of Dum next, which is located in Oman. This $10 billion project covers an area of 2,000 hectares and includes the construction of port facilities, industrial zones, and residential areas. Construction of the Port of Duke began in 2011, with the project expected to be completed by 2025. One of the primary challenges of this project is the remote location, which requires extensive infrastructure development to support the construction and operation of the port. This includes the construction of roads, utilities, and housing for workers, as well as the development of logistics and supply chain networks. The port facilities are designed to accommodate a wide range of vessels, including container ships, oil tankers, and bulk carriers. The construction of the port involves significant dredging and reclamation work to create deep water berths and turning basins. This requires the use of advanced dredging equipment and techniques to ensure the stability and safety of the port structures. Dredging operations at the Port of Duke utilize cutter suction dredgers and trailing suction hopper dredgers to excavate and transport sediment from the seabed. These dredgers are capable of handling various soil conditions, from soft silt to compacted sand and rock. The construction of the port quay walls and breakwaters involves significant engineering challenges. The quay walls are constructed using precast concrete blocks and steel sheet piles driven deep into the seabed. These structures provide the necessary strength and durability to withstand the forces exerted by large vessels and the harsh marine environment. The quay walls are built using a combination of precast concrete blocks and in-situ concrete casting. The precast blocks are manufactured off-site to ensure quality and consistency, then transported and installed using heavy-duty cranes. The sheet piles are driven into the seabed using hydraulic pile drivers, which provide the necessary force to penetrate the dense seabed material. Let's move over to the United States next, where the Silicon Valley Clean Water Project is located. This $500 million project involves constructing new treatment facilities and rehabilitating existing infrastructure to improve the efficiency and sustainability of the wastewater treatment process. The project includes the construction of a new wastewater treatment plant, which features advanced treatment technologies such as membrane bioreactors and ultraviolet disinfection. Membrane bioreactors are a combination of a biological treatment process and membrane filtration. They offer superior treatment performance compared to conventional methods, providing high-quality effluents by filtering out fine particles and microorganisms. Ultraviolet disinfection is another advanced technology employed by the project. UV disinfection involves exposing treated wastewater to ultraviolet light, which inactivates pathogens and microorganisms by damaging their DNA. This method is highly effective and does not involve the use of chemicals, making it an environmentally friendly alternative to traditional chlorination. This project also involves the rehabilitation of existing infrastructures, including replacing aging pipelines and upgrading pump stations. The pipelines are critical for transporting wastewater to and from the treatment plant. Engineers use trenchless technology such as cured-in-place pipelining to rehabilitate the pipelines without extensive excavation. This method involves inserting a resin-coated liner into the existing pipe and curing it in place, creating a new, durable pipe within the old one. Another critical component of the project is the construction of new storage and equalization tanks. These tanks are designed to manage the flow variations in the wastewater treatment process, ensuring a consistent and controlled flow of wastewater through the treatment plant. The construction of the Silicon Valley Clean Water Project also involves extensive earthworks to prepare the site for new facilities. This includes land grading excavation and soil stabilization. Land grading involves reshaping the land surface to achieve the desired elevations and slopes for the treatment plant.
The Port of Houston is undergoing a significant expansion to accommodate increasing maritime traffic and larger vessels. This project aims to deepen and widen the Houston Ship Channel to 46.5 feet and 530 feet, ensuring the port can handle the next generation of mega ships. The expansion involves extensive dredging operations, requiring sophisticated equipment and precise engineering to navigate the challenging conditions of the channel. The dredged material is being repurposed for various beneficial uses, including the creation of new marshlands and habitat restoration projects, showcasing a commitment to environmental sustainability alongside industrial growth. One of the primary challenges of the expansion is managing the continuous operation of the port while construction is underway. This necessitates careful coordination and staging to minimize disruptions to the daily flow of goods. Engineers employ advanced modeling and simulation tools to plan the dredging activities meticulously, ensuring the stability of the channel's banks and the safety of the ongoing port operations. The use of modern dredgers equipped with GPS technology allows for precise excavation, reducing the risk of over-dredging and ensuring the channel meets the required dimensions. In addition to the dredging, the expansion project includes the construction of new berths and the enhancement of existing ones to accommodate the larger vessels. This involves significant civil engineering work, including the installation of high-capacity cranes and other cargo handling equipment. These upgrades are designed to improve the efficiency of cargo transfer operations, reducing turnaround times for ships and enhancing the port's overall capacity. Another critical aspect of the project is the integration of advanced technology to improve the port's operational efficiency. This includes the implementation of automated systems for cargo tracking and handling, as well as the installation of state-of-the-art security measures to safeguard against potential threats. The expansion is expected to significantly boost the port's throughput capacity, allowing it to handle over 200 million tons of cargo annually, which is vital for supporting the economic growth of the region. The Guadalajara Subway Line 4 is a major infrastructure project aimed at improving public transportation in the city. The new line will span approximately 13 miles, connecting key areas of the city and significantly reducing travel times for commuters. The construction involves the use of advanced tunneling techniques, including the deployment of tunnel boring machines to excavate the underground sections of the line. One of the challenges of the project is navigating the complex geological conditions of the region, which include varying soil types and underground water sources. To address these challenges, engineers use sophisticated geotechnical analysis and monitoring systems to ensure the stability of the tunnels during excavation. The boring machines are equipped with cutting-edge technology to handle the diverse soil conditions, including pressure-balanced cutting heads and automated guidance systems. In addition to the tunneling work, the project includes the construction of new stations and the installation of modern rail infrastructure. The stations are designed with a focus on passenger convenience and safety, featuring spacious platforms, advanced ticketing systems, and real-time information displays. The new line will also incorporate the latest in rail technology, including automated train control systems and energy-efficient rolling stock. Once the tunnels are excavated, the focus shifts to constructing the stations and installing the rail infrastructure. The stations are built using a combination of traditional construction methods and prefabricated elements, allowing for efficient and timely completion. The installation of the rail infrastructure involves laying tracks, installing signaling systems, and setting up power supplies. Advanced technologies, such as automated train control systems, are integrated to ensure the safety and efficiency of the line. Let's move over to the next megaproject, which is Amsterdam Central Station, located in the Netherlands. The station is undergoing a comprehensive renovation to transform it into a modern transport hub capable of handling the increasing passenger traffic. The project involves the complete overhaul of the station's infrastructure, including the addition of new platforms, tracks, and passenger facilities. One of the key challenges is maintaining the station's operations while construction is underway, requiring meticulous planning and execution. The renovation includes the construction of a new underground metro station, which will be integrated with the existing railway network. This involves extensive tunneling work beneath the station, using advanced tunneling machines to minimize disruption to the surface activities. The new metro station will feature state-of-the-art facilities, including automated ticketing systems and real-time passenger information displays, enhancing the overall travel experience. Another significant aspect of the renovation is the restoration of the station's historic facade and interior. This requires a delicate balance between preserving the architectural heritage and incorporating modern amenities. Specialized restoration techniques are employed to repair and preserve the original features, while new materials and technologies are used to enhance the building's functionality and safety. The renovation also includes the expansion of the station's concourse and the creation of new retail and dining spaces, providing passengers with a wide range of amenities. The upgraded station will feature improved accessibility, with new elevators and escalators, as well as dedicated facilities for passengers with reduced mobility. The integration of sustainable design elements, such as energy-efficient lighting and ventilation systems, further underscores the project's commitment to environmental responsibility. The construction process involves several phases, starting with the demolition of outdated structures and the excavation of new tunnels. Advanced excavation techniques are used to ensure the stability of the surrounding buildings and infrastructure. Once the tunnels are excavated, the focus shifts to constructing the new metro station and integrating it with the existing railway network. This involves the installation of tracks, signaling systems, and power supplies, as well as the construction of platforms and passenger facilities. The restoration of the historic facade requires careful planning and execution to preserve the architectural integrity of the building. This involves cleaning and repairing the original brickwork, replacing damaged elements, and applying protective coatings to ensure the longevity of the restored features. Inside the station, modern amenities are seamlessly integrated with the historic interior, creating a blend of old and new that enhances the overall passenger experience. Let's move on to talk about the Los Angeles River Revitalization Project, which aims to transform the historic waterway into a vibrant public space, addressing both environmental and urban development goals. The project involves the restoration of natural habitats, the creation of recreational areas, and the construction of new infrastructure to manage stormwater and improve water quality. One of the difficulties of the project is balancing the need for flood control with the goal of creating a more natural and accessible river environment. This requires the use of innovative engineering solutions, such as the construction of multi-benefit stormwater management facilities and the installation of permeable surfaces to reduce runoff and improve groundwater recharge. The project also includes the removal of concrete channels in certain sections of the river, allowing for the restoration of natural vegetation and wildlife habitats. This involves extensive excavation and regrading work, as well as the planting of native species to support biodiversity. Advanced modeling and simulation tools are used to design and evaluate the hydrological impacts of these changes, ensuring that flood risks are effectively managed. The restoration process begins with the removal of concrete channels and the excavation of the riverbed. Heavy machinery, such as excavators and bulldozers, is used to remove the concrete and regrade the riverbed to create a more natural profile. This is followed by the planting of native vegetation, including trees, shrubs, and grasses, to restore the natural habitat and support wildlife. The construction of stormwater management facilities is a critical component of the project, designed to capture and treat runoff before it enters the river. These facilities include detention basins, bioswales, and constructed wetlands, which use natural processes to filter and clean the water. Permeable surfaces, such as permeable pavement and green roofs, are also installed to reduce runoff and promote groundwater recharge. But how about an insanely long pipeline megaproject? The Trans-Saharan gas pipeline is an ambitious undertaking aimed at transporting natural gas from Nigeria to Europe via Niger and Algeria. The pipeline will span approximately 65 miles, making it one of the longest pipelines in the world. The construction involves a range of engineering challenges, including the need to traverse harsh desert environments and mountainous terrain. One of the key challenges of the project is ensuring the integrity and safety of the pipeline over such a long distance. This requires the use of advanced materials and construction techniques, including high-strength steel pipes and automated welding systems. The pipeline will also be equipped with state-of-the-art monitoring and control systems to detect and respond to any potential issues, such as leaks or pressure fluctuations. The construction of the pipeline involves extensive trenching and welding operations, with specialized equipment and techniques used to handle the diverse terrain. In the desert regions, engineers must contend with extreme temperatures and shifting sands, which can affect the stability of the pipeline. To address these challenges, the pipeline will be buried at a sufficient depth to protect it from environmental factors and ensure its long-term stability. In addition to the technical challenges, the project also involves significant logistical and coordination efforts, given the need to work across multiple countries and jurisdictions. This requires close collaboration between the governments and stakeholders involved, as well as the implementation of robust project management and risk mitigation strategies. The pipeline's route is carefully planned to minimize environmental impact and avoid sensitive areas. Advanced geospatial technologies such as satellite imaging and geographic information systems are used to map the terrain and identify the optimal path for the pipeline. This ensures that the pipeline avoids protected areas, wildlife habitats, and other environmentally sensitive regions. The welding of the pipeline segments is a critical phase of the project, requiring precision and expertise to ensure the integrity of the welds. Automated welding systems are used to achieve consistent and high-quality welds, while rigorous quality control measures are implemented to detect and address any defects. The welded pipeline segments are then coated with protective materials to prevent corrosion and enhance their durability. The Gwadar Port expansion in Pakistan is a critical project aimed at transforming the port into a major international trade hub. The expansion involves the construction of new berths, storage facilities, and transportation infrastructure, significantly enhancing the port's capacity and efficiency. One of the primary challenges of the project is the need to dredge the port to accommodate larger vessels. This involves the use of advanced dredging equipment and techniques to remove large volumes of sediment and deepen the harbor. The dredged material is carefully managed to minimize environmental impact, with some of it being used for land reclamation and the creation of new port facilities. The dredging process begins with the use of specialized dredging vessels equipped with cutting-edge technology to remove sediment and deepen the harbor. These vessels use powerful suction pumps and cutting tools to excavate the sediment and transport it to designated disposal sites. The dredged material is then carefully managed to minimize environmental impact, with some of it being used for land reclamation and the creation of new port facilities. The construction of new quay walls and cargo handling facilities involves significant civil engineering work, including the installation of high-capacity cranes and other equipment. The quay walls are constructed using reinforced concrete and steel, ensuring their durability and stability. The cargo handling equipment is designed to handle a wide range of cargo types, including containers, bulk cargo, and liquid cargo, enhancing the port's versatility and capacity. The development of new road and rail links is a critical component of the expansion, designed to improve connectivity and facilitate the efficient movement of goods. This involves the construction of new highways, railways, and intermodal facilities, as well as the upgrade of existing infrastructure. These improvements are essential for supporting the port's operations and ensuring its long-term success. It's time to travel over to the country of Russia next, where the Skolkovo Innovation Center is located. This project involves the construction of state-of-the-art research and development facilities, office spaces, and residential areas, creating a dynamic environment for collaboration and growth. One of the key challenges of the project is ensuring the integration of advanced technologies and sustainable design principles throughout the development. This requires the use of cutting-edge construction methods and materials, including energy-efficient building systems, smart grid technology, and renewable energy sources. The buildings are designed to meet high standards of energy efficiency and environmental performance, incorporating features such as green roofs, solar panels, and rainwater harvesting systems. The construction of the Skolkovo Innovation Center also involves significant infrastructure development, including the creation of new transportation links and utilities. This includes the construction of roads, bridges, and public transit facilities, as well as the installation of high-speed internet and telecommunications networks. These infrastructure improvements are essential for supporting the center's operations and ensuring its long-term success. The project also includes the development of extensive public spaces and amenities, designed to foster a sense of community and enhance the quality of life for residents and workers. This includes parks, plazas, and recreational facilities, as well as cultural and educational institutions. Next up, we move over to the United Kingdom to talk about the Battersea Power Station project. This is a major redevelopment to transform the iconic industrial site into a mixed-use complex featuring residential, commercial, and cultural spaces. The project involves the restoration of the historic power station building, as well as the construction of new buildings and public spaces. One of the hardest challenges of the project is preserving the architectural heritage of the power station while adapting it for modern use. This requires the use of specialized restoration techniques and materials to repair and maintain the building's historic features. The restoration work includes the careful cleaning and repair of the iconic brickwork, as well as the replacement of damaged or deteriorated elements with historically accurate replicas. In addition to the restoration work, the project includes the construction of new buildings and infrastructure to support the mixed-use development. This includes the creation of new residential units, office spaces, and retail areas, as well as the development of public amenities such as parks and cultural facilities. The integration of these elements is designed to create a vibrant and dynamic environment that attracts residents and visitors alike. The restoration process begins with a detailed assessment of the building's condition, identifying areas that require repair or replacement. This is followed by the careful cleaning and repair of the brickwork, using specialized techniques to preserve the original appearance and texture. Damaged or deteriorated elements are replaced with historically accurate replicas, ensuring the building's architectural integrity is maintained. The construction of new buildings involves the use of advanced construction techniques and materials, including prefabricated elements and modular construction. Prefabricated wall panels and structural components are manufactured off-site and assembled on-site, reducing construction time and minimizing disruption. Modular construction techniques are also used to enhance the efficiency and quality of the construction process. It's time to move over to New York in the United States. Here, the Manhattan West development is a major urban redevelopment project that involves the construction of a mixed-use complex featuring office buildings, residential towers, and public spaces. The project is designed to create a vibrant and dynamic environment in the heart of Manhattan, enhancing the city's skyline and providing new opportunities for work, living, and recreation. One of the key challenges of the project is the need to construct the complex overactive rail yards. This requires the use of innovative engineering solutions, including the construction of a massive platform to support the new buildings. The platform is built using advanced techniques and materials, including high-strength steel and precast concrete, to ensure its stability and durability. The construction of the Manhattan West development also involves significant excavation and foundation work, with deep piles driven into the bedrock to support the towering structures. This requires the use of specialized drilling equipment and techniques, as well as careful planning and coordination to minimize disruption to the surrounding area. The construction process begins with the excavation of the site and the installation of deep foundation piles to support the buildings. This involves the use of heavy machinery, such as drills and pile drivers, to create deep holes in the bedrock and install the piles. Once the foundation is in place, the focus shifts to constructing the platform that will support the new buildings. This involves the use of high-strength steel and precast concrete, ensuring the platform's stability and durability. The construction of the buildings involves the use of advanced construction techniques and materials, including prefabricated elements and modular construction. Prefabricated wall panels and structural components are manufactured off-site and assembled on-site, reducing construction time and minimizing disruption. Modular construction techniques are also used to enhance the efficiency and quality of the construction process. But we haven't talked about one of the biggest train stations in Europe. Vienna Station in Austria is undergoing a major redevelopment to transform it into a modern transport hub. The project involves the complete overhaul of the station's infrastructure, including the addition of new platforms, tracks, and passenger facilities. One of the key challenges is maintaining the station's operations while construction is underway, requiring meticulous planning and execution. The redevelopment includes the construction of a new underground metro station, which will be integrated with the existing railway network. This involves extensive tunneling work beneath the station, using advanced tunneling machines to minimize disruption to the surface activities. The new metro station will feature state-of-the-art facilities, including automated ticketing systems and real-time passenger information displays, enhancing the overall travel experience. The project also includes the expansion of the station's concourse and the creation of new retail and dining spaces, providing passengers with a wide range of amenities. The upgraded station will feature improved accessibility, with new elevators and escalators, as well as dedicated facilities for passengers with reduced mobility. The integration of sustainable design elements, such as energy-efficient lighting and ventilation systems, further underscores the project's commitment to environmental responsibility. The construction process involves several phases, starting with the demolition of outdated structures and the excavation of new tunnels. Advanced excavation techniques are used to ensure the stability of the surrounding buildings and infrastructure. Once the tunnels are excavated, the focus shifts to constructing the new metro station and integrating it with the existing railway network. This involves the installation of tracks, signaling systems, and power supplies, as well as the construction of platforms and passenger facilities. The restoration of the historic facade requires careful planning and execution to preserve the architectural integrity of the building. This involves cleaning and repairing the original brickwork, replacing damaged elements, and applying protective coatings to ensure the longevity of the restored features. Inside the station, modern amenities are seamlessly integrated with the historic interior, creating a blend of old and new that enhances the overall passenger experience. We move over to the country of Finland for the Helsinki International Airport megaproject. This involves the construction of new terminal buildings, the expansion of existing facilities, and the development of new runways and taxiways. One of the main goals of the expansion is maintaining the airport's operations while construction is underway. This requires careful planning and coordination to minimize disruption to flights and passenger services. The use of advanced construction techniques and materials, including prefabricated elements and modular construction, helps to expedite the work and reduce the impact on airport operations. The expansion includes the construction of a new terminal building, which will feature state-of-the-art facilities and amenities for passengers. This includes spacious check-in areas, advanced security screening systems, and a wide range of retail and dining options. The new terminal is designed to enhance the overall passenger experience, providing a comfortable and efficient environment for travelers. In addition to the terminal expansion, the project involves the development of new runways and taxiways to increase the airport's capacity and improve operational efficiency. This includes the construction of new aircraft parking stands and the installation of advanced air traffic control systems to manage the increased traffic. The integration of sustainable design elements, such as energy-efficient lighting and ventilation systems, further underscores the project's commitment to environmental responsibility. The construction process begins with extensive site preparation and excavation work to create the foundation for the new terminal and runways. This involves the use of heavy machinery, such as bulldozers and excavators, to clear the site and create a level base. Once the site is prepared, the focus shifts to constructing the terminal building and runways, using advanced construction techniques and materials. The terminal building is constructed using a combination of traditional and prefabricated methods, allowing for efficient and timely completion. Prefabricated elements, such as wall panels and structural components, are manufactured off-site and assembled on-site, reducing construction time and minimizing disruption. Modular construction techniques are also used to enhance the efficiency and quality of the construction process. The development of new runways and taxiways involves the use of advanced construction techniques and materials to ensure their durability and stability. This includes the installation of high-strength concrete and asphalt, as well as the use of advanced drainage systems to prevent water accumulation and ensure the runways remain operational in all weather conditions. The installation of advanced air traffic control systems further enhances the efficiency and safety of the airport's operations. Let's move over to Mexico for the Trans-Pecos pipeline project. Spanning 148 miles from the Permian Basin in Texas to Mexico, the pipeline crosses diverse terrain and requires the use of advanced construction techniques to ensure its integrity and safety. One of the primary challenges of the project is navigating the complex geological conditions along the pipeline's route, which includes rocky terrain, desert areas, and river crossings. To address these challenges, engineers use sophisticated geotechnical analysis and monitoring systems to ensure the stability of the pipeline during construction. Specialized equipment, such as horizontal directional drilling rigs, is used to install the pipeline beneath rivers and other obstacles, minimizing environmental impact and ensuring the pipeline's long-term integrity. The construction of the pipeline involves extensive trenching and welding operations, with high-strength steel pipes used to withstand the pressure and temperature conditions of the natural gas. Automated welding systems and rigorous quality control measures are employed to ensure the integrity of the welds and the overall safety of the pipeline. The pipeline is also equipped with advanced monitoring and control systems to detect and respond to any potential issues, such as leaks or pressure fluctuations. The installation of the pipeline involves the use of high-strength steel pipes, which are welded together using automated welding systems. These systems ensure consistent and high-quality welds, while rigorous quality control measures are implemented to detect and address any defects. The welded pipeline segments are then coated with protective materials to prevent corrosion and enhance their durability. Horizontal directional drilling is used to install the pipeline beneath rivers and other obstacles, minimizing environmental impact and ensuring the pipeline's long-term integrity. This involves the use of specialized drilling rigs to create a horizontal bore beneath the obstacle, through which the pipeline is then pulled. This technique allows for precise installation and minimizes disruption to the surrounding environment. It's time to travel over to an iconic bridge project. The Messina Strait Bridge in Italy is an ambitious infrastructure project aimed at connecting the island of Sicily with the mainland. The bridge will span approximately 2 miles, making it one of the longest suspension bridges in the world. The construction involves a range of engineering challenges, including the need to ensure the bridge's stability in a seismically active region. One of the main challenges of the project is designing the bridge to withstand the strong winds and seismic activity in the region. This requires the use of advanced materials and construction techniques, including high-strength steel cables and reinforced concrete. The bridge's design incorporates multiple safety features, such as flexible joints and shock absorbers, to mitigate the impact of seismic events and ensure its long-term stability. The construction of the bridge involves extensive foundation work, with deep piles driven into the seabed to support the massive structure. This requires the use of specialized drilling equipment and techniques, as well as careful planning and coordination to minimize disruption to marine traffic. The bridge's main span will be constructed using prefabricated sections, which will be assembled and lifted into place using large cranes. In addition to the technical challenges, the project also involves significant logistical and coordination efforts, given the need to work across multiple jurisdictions and manage the impact on local communities. This requires close collaboration between the governments and stakeholders involved, as well as the implementation of robust project management and risk mitigation strategies. The assembly of the bridge's main span involves the use of prefabricated sections, which are manufactured off-site and transported to the construction site. These sections are then assembled and lifted into place using large cranes, ensuring precise alignment and stability. The use of prefabricated elements allows for efficient and timely construction, reducing the impact on marine traffic and minimizing disruption. But we also have to talk about the Bay Area Rapid Transit Project, located in San Francisco. The project involves the extension of existing lines, the construction of new stations, and the upgrade of critical infrastructure to support increased ridership. One of the toughest challenges of the expansion is the need to upgrade aging infrastructure while maintaining ongoing operations. This requires careful planning and coordination to minimize disruption to services and ensure passenger safety. The use of advanced construction techniques, such as phased construction and modular installation, helps to expedite the work and reduce the impact on daily operations. The expansion includes the construction of new stations, which are designed with a focus on passenger convenience and safety. These stations feature spacious platforms, advanced ticketing systems, and real-time information displays, providing a seamless and efficient travel experience. The new stations are also designed to be accessible to passengers with reduced mobility, with elevators, escalators, and dedicated facilities to ensure inclusivity. The construction process begins with extensive site surveys and planning to identify potential challenges and design the construction methods. This involves the use of advanced geospatial technologies, such as satellite imaging and geographic information systems, to map the terrain and plan the construction activities. The phased construction approach allows for the upgrade of infrastructure in stages, minimizing disruption to services and ensuring passenger safety. The construction of new stations involves the use of advanced construction techniques and materials, including prefabricated elements and modular construction. Prefabricated wall panels and structural components are manufactured off-site and assembled on-site, reducing construction time and minimizing disruption. Modular construction techniques are also used to enhance the efficiency and quality of the construction process. It's time to travel over to the Netherlands next to talk about Schiphol International Airport. This aviation hub is undergoing a major expansion to accommodate increasing passenger traffic and enhance its status as a key aviation hub. The project involves the construction of new terminal buildings, the expansion of existing facilities, and the development of new runways and taxiways. In addition to the terminal expansion, the project involves the development of new runways and taxiways to increase the airport's capacity and improve operational efficiency. This includes the construction of new aircraft parking stands and the installation of advanced air traffic control systems to manage the increased traffic. The integration of sustainable design elements, such as energy-efficient lighting and ventilation systems, further underscores the project's commitment to environmental responsibility. The construction process begins with extensive site preparation and excavation work to create the foundation for the new terminal and runways. This involves the use of heavy machinery, such as bulldozers and excavators, to clear the site and create a level base. Once the site is prepared, the focus shifts to constructing the terminal building and runways, using advanced construction techniques and materials. The terminal building is constructed using a combination of traditional and prefabricated methods, allowing for efficient and timely completion. Prefabricated elements such as wall panels and structural components are manufactured off-site and assembled on-site, reducing construction time and minimizing disruption. Modular construction techniques are also used to enhance the efficiency and quality of the construction process.
Let's move over to New York for the gigantic 2nd Avenue subway project. This heavily delayed development is now a reality that significantly enhances public transit in New York City. With a price tag of over $4.5 billion for its first phase alone, this project is among the most ambitious and expensive transit ventures in America. The 2nd Avenue subway has been on the drawing board since the 1920s. Financial challenges, political hurdles, and engineering complexities repeatedly stalled the project. After decades of setbacks, Phase 1 finally opened in January 2017. This marked the first major expansion of the subway system in New York City in over 50 years. The initial phase added 3 new stations along 2nd Avenue at 72nd, 86th, and 96th Streets. It has extended the Q train to provide service to the Upper East Side. These stations are state-of-the-art, featuring spacious platforms, elevators, escalators, and vibrant artwork. This makes them some of the most visually appealing ones in the system. The 2nd Avenue subway is far from complete. Phase 2, with an estimated cost of $6 billion. This will extend the line north to Harlem, adding 3 more stations at 106th, 116th, and 125th Streets. Additional phases will eventually stretch the line down to Hanover Square in Lower Manhattan. The proposed full line would be 8.5 miles and 16 stations long, serve a projected 560,000 daily riders, and cost more than $17 billion. This project has dramatically reduced congestion on the overcrowded Lexington Avenue line. This was previously the only subway serving the area. It has also improved connectivity for Upper East Side residents, cutting travel times and boosting property values in the neighborhood. The subway has boosted economic development along 2nd Avenue, attracting new businesses, residential projects, and retail establishments. It has also improved accessibility for low-income and minority communities in East Harlem, addressing long-standing inequities in transit service. Despite its successes, the 2nd Avenue subway has faced criticism for its high costs, delays, and limited scope. Each phase has taken years to plan and build, raising questions about the efficiency of large-scale transit projects in the US. In coming years, the 2nd Avenue subway will continue to transform the transit network in New York City. But we have not talked about Sound Transit 3 just yet, which is a monumental transportation infrastructure project aimed at transforming public transit in the Puget Sound region of Washington state. With an estimated budget of $54 billion, ST3 represents one of the largest mass transit expansions in US history. The project extends the existing light rail, commuter rail, and bus rapid transit systems of the region by over 116 miles. Key elements include new light rail lines connecting Seattle to Everett, Tacoma, Ballard, and West Seattle. The project also expands Sounder commuter rail services to South King and Pierce counties and introduces bus rapid transit corridors for faster and more reliable travel. The backbone of ST3 is its light rail network, which will include 37 new stations, bringing the total to over 70. These stations will provide seamless connectivity to major employment centers, residential neighborhoods, and educational institutions. The extension to Tacoma and Everett will significantly reduce travel times, offering commuters a fast, eco-friendly alternative to driving. Light rail trains would run 20 hours per day and every 3 to 6 minutes during peak hours. The plan requires the purchase of 226 new vehicles to operate on the new lines. Sound Transit 3 incorporates advanced technologies to enhance the passenger experience. New stations will feature real-time arrival information, improved accessibility for people with disabilities, and safe, well-lit environments. Parking facilities at key stations will also be expanded to accommodate the growing demand for park and ride services. The ST3 expansion is expected to create thousands of jobs during its construction phase and stimulate economic activity in surrounding areas. By improving access to affordable housing, education, and healthcare, the project also addresses social equity. This ensures that underserved communities benefit from enhanced connectivity. The ambitious scope of ST3 presents several challenges, including budget management, environmental reviews, and community engagement. The pandemic caused delays and increased costs, prompting a re-evaluation of timelines and priorities. Despite these setbacks, major components of the project are expected to be completed by 2041, with interim phases opening earlier. Sound Transit Board has recently approved the route and station locations for the West Seattle Link extension. This action authorizes the project to move forward into the final design phase. Construction is expected to begin in 2027. By 2040, Sound Transit estimates that its services will carry a total of between 561,000 and 695,000 daily riders, with 69% of all transit trips using rail services. Let's move over to Nevada for the Tesla Gigafactory. With an estimated cost of $16 billion, this massive facility is revolutionizing battery production and energy storage. Gigafactory Tesla is one of the highest volume plants in the world for electric motors, energy storage products, vehicle powertrains, and batteries. Located near Reno, Nevada, the Gigafactory spans 5.3 million square feet, making it one of the largest buildings in the world by footprint. When fully completed, it will cover over 13 million square feet and produce enough batteries to power 500,000 electric vehicles annually. The Gigafactory produces lithium-ion batteries for Tesla electric vehicles and Powerwall energy storage systems. By manufacturing batteries in-house, Tesla reduces costs, increases efficiency, and ensures a stable supply chain. The factory operates on renewable energy, with plans to achieve 100% sustainability. Solar panels cover the roof, and the surrounding area is designed for wind and geothermal energy generation. These efforts align with the mission of Tesla to transition the world to sustainable energy. The Gigafactory has created thousands of jobs in Nevada and attracted additional businesses to the region, boosting the local economy. The expansion is expected to add about 6,500 full-time employees and 4 million square feet of manufacturing space. It has also positioned the US as a leader in battery production and electric vehicle innovation. Despite its achievements, the Gigafactory has faced challenges, including construction delays and supply chain disruptions. Some critics question whether Tesla can meet its ambitious production targets. The Miami Signature Bridge is an iconic infrastructure project designed to improve traffic flow and redefine the city's skyline. With a cost of $818 million, this modern bridge combines functionality with architectural beauty. The Signature Bridge is planned as a 1025-foot-long bridge over NE 2nd Street and Biscayne Boulevard and will redefine the skyline in Miami with 6 massive arches. The largest arch is expected to reach a height of 325 feet and be 650 feet wide. The design of the bridge includes sweeping arches illuminated by LED lights, creating a striking visual effect. It serves as a gateway to downtown Miami, connecting major highways and enhancing the aesthetic appeal of the city. The Signature Bridge is part of the I-395, SR-836, and I-95 improvement project, addressing congestion in one of the busiest corridors in Miami. By streamlining traffic flow, it reduces travel times and improves safety for drivers and pedestrians. Beyond its practical benefits, the bridge includes public spaces, pedestrian walkways, and green areas underneath. These features transform the area into a vibrant community hub, blending infrastructure with urban living. Construction has faced delays due to weather and logistical issues, but the project remains on track for completion in 2027. We have to talk about the redevelopment of one of the busiest airports in the country, John F. Kennedy International Airport. This project is worth $19 billion and is all set to redefine air travel for one of the busiest hubs in the United States. With over 62 million passengers passing through annually, JFK is integral to global connectivity. The airport generates more than $51 billion in sales and $17.1 billion in wages. This massive project ensures that the airport not only meets current demands, but is also prepared for future growth. The JFK International Airport Master Plan to redevelop the airport into a world-class 21st century airport is being led by Grimshaw and Mott MacDonald. The expansion will result in new terminal complexes on both the south and north sides of the airport. To the south, Terminals 1 and 2 will be replaced with a new terminal served by 23 international gates. On the north side, another upgraded terminal will connect to the existing Terminal 5 and offer 12 international gates, each able to serve larger wide-body aircraft. Other expansion projects include a 16-gate expansion for Terminal 4 and a 3-gate expansion at Terminal 8. The project also focuses on enhancing the passenger experience through modern design, spacious concourses, advanced technology, and sustainable features. Improvements include better check-in areas, automated security systems, and a wider range of retail and dining options. Upgraded baggage handling systems will streamline operations, reducing delays and improving efficiency. To complement the terminal upgrades, the project includes a redesign of roadways and parking areas to ease congestion and improve traffic flow. Expanded air train capacity will provide a seamless connection to public transportation. Similarly, upgrades to taxiways and aprons ensure better aircraft movement on the ground. With new roads, bridges, and enhanced traffic technologies, travelers will have an easier time navigating between terminals. They are also reducing the number of roadway loops from 5 to 2 main loops, making it less confusing for drivers. This will eventually create space for more cars to circle through, but less congestion to stack up. This includes a multi-level parking facility with nearly 2,000 spaces and an eco-friendly timber exterior. A 122-meter pedestrian bridge equipped with rainwater harvesting technology will link it to the new Terminal 1. The expansion has faced challenges, including coordination with airlines, minimizing disruption during construction, and managing costs. The city is also building its own concrete plant to produce the roughly 550,000 square meters expected to be used at JFK. That's enough to fill about 218 Olympic swimming pools. Despite several hurdles, the project remains on track, with completion expected by 2030. We move over to New York for the Hudson Yards project, a $25 billion mega project on the west side of Manhattan. Is the largest private real estate development in America's history. Spanning 28 acres, this transformative project has redefined urban living and set a new standard for mixed-use developments. The project features The Edge, which is the highest outdoor sky deck in the Western Hemisphere. This will include more than 18 million square feet of commercial and residential space, along with more than 100 shops. There'll be a collection of restaurants, approximately 4,000 residences, and affordable housing. Then there is The Shed, a cultural venue that hosts performances, art exhibits, and events. This 14 acres of public open space will also include a 750-seat public school, the inaugural Equinox Hotel with 212 rooms, and a first-of-its-kind microgrid and cogen plant. Hudson Yards includes luxury apartments with stunning views and cutting-edge amenities. There'll also be office spaces for major corporations like Facebook, L'Oreal, and Warner Media. This blend of living and working spaces creates a dynamic, self-sustaining community. The shops and restaurants at Hudson Yards offer a premier shopping and dining experience with high-end retailers and world-class chefs. It has become a destination for locals and tourists alike. Hudson Yards incorporates sustainable design elements, including energy-efficient buildings, green roofs, and a district-wide microgrid for power and heating. Residences feature high ceilings and custom interiors, along with a range of state-of-the-art features. From filtered fresh air ducts to Lutron home automation, the development aims to reduce its environmental footprint while creating a modern urban experience. This mega project has created tens of thousands of jobs and generated billions in economic activity. It has also revitalized the west side of Manhattan, turning a once industrial area into a thriving neighborhood. Hudson Yards has faced criticism for its high costs, exclusivity, and limited affordability. Some argue that it caters to the wealthy while neglecting the needs of lower-income residents. But the Hudson Tunnel project is arguably even more impressive, which will upgrade some of the most critical infrastructure in America. Beneath the Hudson River lies a vital rail connection between New York and New Jersey. This connection serves over 200,000 daily commuters, making it a lifeline for the Northeast Corridor. The project, part of the Gateway program, aims to modernize these aging tunnels and secure the future of rail travel. The first component is the construction of a new 2-track tunnel. This tunnel will run from the Bergen Palisades in New Jersey to Manhattan. It is designed to add capacity and create redundancy in the system. The second component involves the final phase of the Hudson Yards concrete casing. This section will ensure uninterrupted rail access to Penn Station. The third component is the rehabilitation of the existing North River Tunnel. This tunnel, damaged during Superstorm Sandy in 2012 will be restored to modern standards. Construction is a massive undertaking, involving advanced machinery and precise engineering. Tunnel boring machines will carve through the dense rock beneath the Hudson River. High-capacity cranes will assist in laying massive concrete segments for the tunnels. Specialized rail laying machines will ensure smooth track installation. This process ensures the tunnels are built to withstand modern demands and extreme weather. The new tunnel is set for completion before the rehabilitation of the existing one begins. This strategy minimizes disruptions while maintaining service for commuters. By 2035, the project aims to provide 4 fully operational tracks beneath the Hudson River. The benefits are transformative. The project will eliminate a single point of failure in the rail network. It will create over 95,000 jobs during construction, boosting the local economy. An estimated $19.6 billion in economic activity will be generated throughout the project's life cycle. The new system will also reduce road congestion, cutting greenhouse gas emissions by 2 million tons annually. This is the equivalent of flying 2.6 million people from New York to San Francisco. The Pennsylvania Railroad began design and construction work of the existing North River Tunnel in February 1903. It was opened to revenue service in November 1910. The 2-track North River Tunnel was state-of-the-art in the early 20th century. However, its age and design limitations now hinder reliability. In 2012, Superstorm Sandy worsened these issues, flooding the tunnel and causing lasting damage. The Hudson Tunnel project addresses these challenges, ensuring safe and efficient travel for generations. Let's travel to Tolosa, a brand new $400 billion future city planned in the States. It's a futuristic city, taking shape in the imagination of tech billionaire Mark Law. Tolosa promises to combine the cleanliness of Tokyo, the diversity of New York, and the social services of Stockholm into a groundbreaking urban design. The name of the city comes from Greek, which means something like highest goal. This refers to both sustainability goals and the diversity of the population. Law got this idea from the economist Henry George, who dreamed of a tax-free, communal form of society as early as the 19th century. However, this has so far only been implemented on a very small scale. This gigantic city, around the size of Chicago, will rise from scratch in the middle of desert, covering 150,000 acres. With a vision for sustainability and equity, Tolosa will feature eco-friendly architecture, renewable energy systems, and a drought-resistant water supply. Its 15-minute city design ensures residents can reach schools, workplaces, and amenities within a quarter-hour commute. Planners are scouting locations in Nevada, Utah, Idaho, Arizona, Texas, and the Appalachian region. Digital renderings by Bianca Ingel's group depict lush greenery on buildings, abundant open spaces, and sunlit streets filled with autonomous vehicles, pedestrians, and bicycles. Fossil fuel-powered vehicles will be banned, creating a clean, quiet, and sustainable transport ecosystem. Smart infrastructure will track energy use, traffic, and public services in real time. Equitism Tower will be built as the Tower of Sustainability. This skyscraper will feature elevated water storage, aeroponic farms, and a photovoltaic roof that generates energy. The tower is designed to share resources efficiently, embodying Tolosa's vision for self-sustaining communities. The first phase of Tolosa will cover 1,500 acres and house 50,000 residents. Estimated costs for this phase alone are $25 billion, while the entire project is expected to exceed $400 billion. Construction will use advanced technologies, including 3D printing, modular construction methods, and renewable materials to minimize environmental impact. Heavy equipment like electric excavators and robotic construction systems will speed up development while maintaining precision. The project is set to break ground by 2030, with a goal of reaching a population of 5 million within 40 years. The governance in Tolosa will emphasize participation and equity, inspired by the philosophy of Henry George. Residents will have a say in budgeting and decision-making processes. Law envisions a city where people, not profits, are at the center, describing it as the most open, fair, and inclusive city in the world. Toulousa's unique economic model, equitism, gives residents shared ownership of city land. A foundation will manage land sales, using profits to fund public services. Once the city thrives, its residents will prosper. However, this model requires strong public and philanthropic support to succeed. Toulouse faces significant hurdles, particularly in water availability. Building in the desert means addressing drought risks and water rights. Critics argue resources might be better spent retrofitting existing cities. For law, the challenge is proving that starting fresh allows for groundbreaking solutions. We don't have to travel far for the Penn Station Access Project, which is a transformative initiative aimed at improving rail connectivity in New York City. Spearheaded by the MTA, this $2.87 billion project will expand access to Penn Station. More than 600,000 passengers use the station on an average weekday, or up to 1,000 every 90 seconds. It is the busiest passenger transportation facility in the United States and in North America. The project will bring 4 new Metro North Railroad stations to the Bronx: Hunts Point, Parkchester, Van Nest, Morris Park, and Co-op City. These stations will connect directly to Penn Station, reducing travel times and offering a convenient alternative to crowded roadways. By 2027, commuters will have a seamless link between the Bronx and Manhattan, cutting up to 75 minutes off daily commutes. To support this enhanced service, 19 miles of Hellgate Line in Amtrak are being upgraded. This includes track rehabilitation, modernized signals, and updated power and communication systems. Reconfigured interlockings will improve train routing and increase the reliability of both Metro North and Amtrak services. Construction began in December 2022 and is progressing steadily. Long-term single-track outages have allowed crews to work efficiently, improving safety and productivity. Key milestones include the commissioning of the Leggett interlocking in 2024, a crucial component that will enhance operational flexibility. Throughout the construction, public meetings are being held to keep communities informed of progress and upcoming phases. The Penn Station Access Project is expected to drive economic growth in the East Bronx. With 4 new stations, the area will see increased property values, job opportunities, and business development. By improving public transit, the project is all set to reduce traffic congestion and lower air pollution. Fewer cars on the road mean a cleaner environment and more sustainable urban living. The benefits of this project extend far beyond the Bronx. A new one-seat ride between Penn Station and the East Bronx, Westchester, and Connecticut will improve connectivity across the region. The project introduces a second Metro North route into Manhattan, providing an alternative to Grand Central Terminal. This added capacity will support the growing demand for rail service in one of the busiest corridors in the country. The Texas High-Speed Rail is a bold step toward revolutionizing transportation in the United States. Connecting Dallas and Houston, this $30 billion project aims to bring Japanese Shinkansen technology to the Lone Star State. This offers a 90-minute journey between 2 of the fastest growing cities in the nation. With trains traveling at speeds up to 205 miles per hour, it promises to halve travel times and provide a sustainable alternative to congested highways and overcrowded airports. The route spans 240 miles, starting in Dallas and running through Grimes County before reaching Houston. 3 state-of-the-art stations are planned. The Dallas station will be located in the Cedars District, close to major highways and the K. Hutchison Convention Center. The Brazos Valley Station in Grimes County will connect to Texas A&M University, stimulating local economic development. In Houston, the station will rise at the former Northwest Mall site, offering easy access to the Energy Corridor and other business hubs. The technology driving this project is the Japanese Shinkansen system, renowned for its safety and reliability. Since its induction in 1964, the Shinkansen has achieved an unbelievable record, with 0 passenger fatalities due to accidents. Texas Central, the private company behind the project, plans to use this proven model, adapted to American needs. The trains will feature wide aisles, fast Wi-Fi, and smooth, frequent services running every 30 minutes at peak times. Construction of the rail line is expected to leverage advanced engineering and machinery. High-capacity cranes, specialized rail-laying machines, and advanced tunneling equipment will be employed to ensure precision and speed. The relatively flat terrain between Dallas and Houston minimizes the need for extensive tunneling or complex infrastructure. This makes the route ideal for high-speed rail. Despite this, the project has faced challenges, including opposition from landowners and questions about financing. Texas is uniquely suited for high-speed rail. With a population of over 29 million and a GDP exceeding $2 trillion, the growing economy and urban expansion of the state create a strong demand for efficient transportation. Dallas and Houston, home to nearly 20 million people combined, are economic powerhouses. The project could eventually expand to include cities like Austin and San Antonio, further increasing its reach and utility. The benefits of the Texas high-speed rail extend beyond convenience. By reducing car and air travel, the project aims to cut greenhouse gas emissions and alleviate road congestion. It's estimated to create 10,000 construction jobs annually and 1,500 permanent jobs once operational. Moreover, it could serve as a model for other high-speed rail projects across the US. This is sparking a new era of sustainable infrastructure. Despite setbacks and uncertainties, the Texas high-speed rail holds immense potential. If successful, it will redefine how Americans travel, combining speed, sustainability, and innovation. While the road ahead is challenging, the vision of a connected, efficient future keeps the project moving forward. The early 2030s could mark the dawn of high-speed rail in America, with Texas leading the charge.